Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Ocarina of Time Item Randomizer Standard Tournament Season 4. And yes, we started before, you all know it, but this is the freaking bracket stage. We're here for some one-on-one action, and we're here for the best OTR players on the planet to go up against each other in the double elimination, best of one bracket until the grand finals, and we'll see how it goes. And yes, SariasObject, this is not, I repeat, this is not the game, but this will come. And I can all say hello and welcome. I'm so happy that you're all here. Thank you so much for the level 4 hype train. We have been through an insane journey with 16 qualifiers. Was it 16? I hope it was 16 qualifiers. Many people that played. So many people, more than any time before. We actually had, I'm not sure if anybody knows, over 300 people that joined the qualifiers. Over 300 players.
Was 301, in fact.
302.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, we're 5 minutes out from the beginning of the race. As you can see, we did a small change to the layout, and we now show pronouns if the racers decide to select them for themselves. And with that, I give it over to give a quick recap, if they want, of the calls or what's happening today and what we have in stock. I give it up to Bell and to Slower the Demon. Take it away.
Okay, is this the part where we say last time on Dragon Ball Z?
Last time on Dragon Ball Z. Well, actually, as a matter of fact, last time, someone, I believe, passed up on being in the top 32. I think it was what was his name? Solly, I think, was the one that opted out, and that's why we have this match right here: SariasObject versus MrMartin.
Oh man!
I mean,
right.
what a way to start off season 1 brackets for sure, right?
And indeed, yeah, I don't think I could hype it up any more than Trez has.
No, I don't think
this
so.
is very exciting, and I do want to say I'm very honored to have Spell ask me personally to help commentate this. Big shout out to Spell.
Thank you. I mean, I'm happy you're here, to be honest. I mean, there's a lot of people I like to work with, but you are definitely one of the people on top of my list for this one.
It's like Saria's object is getting his game set up here.
Mm-hmm. So these runners, though, I mean, we have MrMartin, SariasObject. I think SariasObject going into the tournament, I think you had two camps of people. I think there was one camp of people who said, like, well, maybe not. You know, he was kind of known as this up and down player. You know, someone who's known, like, who can peak really high or just crash really low. Like, he's just, you know, very back and forth swinging player. Yet, in the quals, you know, even though he did forfeit a lot of them, the ones he did play all went pretty well for him. And on the other hand, we have MrMartin, who I think was always considered a favorite in many people's mind to go top 32. Probably even take the entire tournament. I think there's a lot of people who say, like, well, he's definitely one of the contenders to take the title. So, an interesting match.
Indeed. Oh, and I accidentally spelled my drink. That was awesome. Off to a great start.
Yeah, I'm also very excited. Sorry.
Indeed. But so I know, Spell, you said that with MrMartin and Sarias, you go pretty far back with these two.
I did, yeah.
So I know you talked about SariasObject. What about MrMartin? What do you got for it?
Well, I'm good friends with both of them, and I watch both their streams a lot. So these are players I'm definitely very familiar with. It's interesting because they have a lot in common, but also very much differences. SariasObject likes to go for really risky plays, like, you know, going down river and it really makes no sense. You know, just looking for these kind of plays to, like, find an advantage and just move ahead really fast. So that's what he likes to do. On the other hand, MrMartin can also do really risky plays, but he can be more informed about it. You know, he really has, like, these ideas like, okay, now I'm going to do this and that, and I'm going to do it now. And he's always thinking this through in the logic, but he can still take risks within, like, those parameters. But he's a far more consistent player than SariasObject. So it's going to be really interesting to see how these two face off, I think.
I definitely agree. Something I do want to ask in the chat, and even to Spell and Trez and Star here, what is your guys' favorite new thing that's added to the season 4 settings?
Oh, that's easy. It's definitely the random spawn. I think by far this throws so much of a curveball that it just gives like such a refreshing thing.
That's fair.
Who's singing there?
My roommate. I apologize. I didn't think that was getting picked up. My fault.
And also free Zelda, of course.
No, I do believe we are about to start any minute now.
But yeah, personally for me, I think I'd say my thing is I personally have been really enjoying the free Zelda or free Zelda or Pokedeku, and we are starting here. All right, so we start off with a Kokiri start as child. So MrMartin definitely going for chickens. I agree with this wholeheartedly. You're right here. You might as well.
Wait, MrMartin is going for chickens? Hold the press. That's news.
And that's Kakariko, not Kokiri, I should note.
Yeah.
Did I say Kokiri? Oh, my bad.
Yes, you did.
Both have two
like,
K.
I get the. Yeah, I thought in my head Kakariko, but I said Kokiri. I guess and I'm not sure how I did that.
Still interesting though to see MrMartin going for chickens immediately. I think he just doesn't want to be bitten in the ass with the check. For example, there's a strength 0 hook shot. Because if you lost occasion that in a 1v1, it's really bad if the other person didn't do that.
Indeed. This is the one thing. I know Trez talked about random spawn, and while I do agree, it does oftentimes throw a curveball. I've noticed at least a lot of times. It's probably one of the reasons why I don't really like it too much, because it doesn't really necessarily throw that much of a curveball. Like, if that makes sense. Like, oftentimes there's so many entrances that are at market and that are at Kakariko that oftentimes you're still kind of doing the same routing with the 3-song, but like most seeds at least.
Mm-hmm. So you mean you're still going to head watch your child songs as quickly as possible. If you start to dodge, you're going to go to Kakariko anyway, that kind of stuff, right? So
yeah, that's pretty much what I mean. Yeah, it's like I mean, it more ends up changing from I'm going to do 3-song or I'm going to do early adult to I'm going to do everything I can do towards 3-song or early adult. And that's the only reason I don't like it. I mean, I get the whole reason why it's here, and I respect it, but I'm just saying that's the reason I don't like it.
Right. So we did notice SariasObject picking up the strength in the Kokiri sword chest. Definitely a nice item to have early on. It opens up, the idea of going to DC, for example. You no longer need bombs or something similar to get through most of it.
Yeah, with that does. Speaking of curveballs, that does kind of throw a bit of a curveball when it comes to the logic. Hover boots in Midos, that's really nice.
Mm. And Naruto's letter. Wow, this is one stacked TV forest.
Can anyone say Rush Ice?
And a double defense, nice.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. This is a really solid Kokiri forest. So from here, with the fact that you have like I said, with free Zelda, you're able to have all the flags set, so you don't have to actually go to Hyrule Castle. What did I say? That Ocarina of Time? What?
Yeah, Ocarina of Time was, I think, Prelude of Light, but I might have missed that. Yeah, pretty sure.
That is correct. Ocarina of Time has Prelude today, so not required.
Yeah, definitely nice.
It doesn't have, but with these spawn settings, I will say, Prelude has become a lot more powerful.
Yeah,
spawns.
Definitely. I mean, depending on where the adult spawn is, which we don't know yet. But as child, at least, we can always just TP over to Lake and then take it from there with Owl, which is pretty convenient. That's why Sunade also like having.
Yes, that is.
Thanks, Trez. OoT coming in.
But
That's a good command, though.
Who needs that crap?
Royce
And- And who needs that crap? Some people that play S4 settings.
I
No.
was the one who put these spawns. That is not
Fair
a
enough.
good test.
All right, so I do like this random music we got going on from MrMartin here. Also, MrMartin gonna pick up every chicken before finding it. I know that feel.
Sun song on Saria's song. So not particularly. I mean, it's a nice song to have. Helps with collecting skulls, and it's like one check I think that's locked behind it. But in general, it just makes things a bit easier with routing, right? Like you don't have to worry about time of day as much.
Indeed.
It's good to have.
Yeah, just $5 on Talon's chickens though.
Not even a rebate. You just lose money. He's like, thanks for playing it. Here's like 5 rupees. Get scammed.
Hey, sucker. But yeah,
Okay.
I mean, at least I was able to get it first try. Am I right though? I mean,
Yeah.
I know when I do that a couple times, I'm like, are you kidding me? How did I fail that? It's so frustrating when you fail chickens.
Sometimes the last chicken just runs off into the sunset, and you're like, okay, where is he? And you just start going through all of them.
I know, right? It's so ridiculous. Or they get mixed into the bunch, and you're just like picking up like in the general area, and it's like nowhere near there because it just was like, nah, I'm over here. I'm chilling.
Yeah, you start looking like the general location where that chicken might have been, but who knows where it is. Anyway, to come back to your earlier question, I think my favorite new setting, honestly, is the closed deck queue. I think that just, in general, makes the seat more interesting, because in the past, deck queue was such a high value, like, quick check, like, bunch of checks that you would just do pretty much always. There was really no reason not to skip it. So, that being gone kind of takes out a lot of them and knocks me out of the seats for me.
I can definitely see that. I also really like closed deku, mainly just the fact that I don't like just giving away like free dungeons, if that makes sense. Because it's like that could be a free forest medallion you can get, or a free you can get a free medallion off of it, or you can even get like a free stone off of it, and like I don't know, like so having it closed deku instead makes it feels like it actually is more or less all dungeons are more impactful, I guess. Not impactful, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
like,
yeah.
It like you said, it adds more interesting, adds that kind of curveball, and that's kind of what that season S4 settings were trying to do.
Right. Anyway, to get back on topic, with the seat, we do see Epona song from MrMartin. So I think the big question that most people are going to be asking themselves is, do I rush GTG with nothing? Because I've seen a lot of people just go there as quickly as possible, usually not even with enough items to complete it. They just get the bow or the hook shot and like, I'm going there and I'm going to see what I can get. Seems to be like just a really high value location in season 4. That's kind of what I've been noticed.
Yeah.
Players.
So like what I say, I would almost never rush it with nothing. I would rush it at least as long as I have one item. Typically, usually if I only have bomb bag, I'll rush it. But other than that, I won't rush it. But I know, like I said, GTG is a very high value, high value location.
High density, yeah.
Yeah. So, but like, I don't like double dipping GTG if I can help it. I personally like to go there all in one sweep.
I think the thing that makes it a bit different though is that long range is Way of the Hero. So Epona song, Way of the Hero kind of makes me feel like there's probably going to be something good in either Grid of Fortress or inside of GTG. So there's not much you can check in there. I don't know if I would rush it, but it would definitely be very high on my list of priorities. And I imagine for these runners as well.
And I believe that's Iron Boots here. No, it's Bomb Shoes.
Bomb Shoes, very nice.
That's a nice one.
Yeah. Definitely helps to have some kind of explosive early on. Now that really puts DC into, as an option you can consider, because now you can full clear it. Obviously, you can't actually do it without bombs, logically speaking, but, with Bomb Shoes, you can use a setup, and then you can light the ice on the Dongo's head. Little trick. So there's definitely other ways you can get in there. As long as you have some
Yeah.
kind of explosive, you can get through it.
But we did see a Frogs 2 was dead, so that's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's good to know. I mean, it's just an awful check, honestly. You have to go
It really is.
and go back for it. Usually, it's the last thing in there you have left to do. Koki, fourth wave the hero.
I wonder what that's here.
Going for two, no surprise to anyone, I'm sure.
Not at all.
Yep,
I
screen
mean-
Fruito's letter or hoppers, take your pick.
I mean,
Um,
depends on what our pedestal says. I
Right.
missed I could not see what was in the water.
No, me neither. He went over way too quickly, and the resolution is too tiny for me to see it properly anyway. But we'll find out pretty sure, I'm sure.
Yeah. But because Saria's object, I'm sure is about to see it too.
Right. I think one thing that does kind of show though is that Mr. Martin did chickens and he got Forest Wind, which might save him a considerable amount of time later. But right now, if we just compare him to SariasObject, it's pretty obvious that doing chickens means he's already it's one song behind. Around the time he was done with chickens, SariasObject was about to get a song from those woods. So you definitely it's a very slow check. It takes like 3 minutes, but for us it might very well make up that difference later, or at least close the gap a bit more.
But that we will be seeing
Oh,
a
escape.
scale. That's pretty much French vanilla.
Very interesting. Also, this opens up the fountain, so you can definitely go in there now.
Yeah.
With hover boots, you can even go out of logic as an adult and go to Ice Cavern. But I imagine ZL is not going to be very hard to find because it's very strictly at least I think it's definitely pointing towards going Ice Cavern quickly and towards GTG. So we're going to see a lot of content.
So, Mr. Martin, skipping over grabbing whatever was in the on the underwater bottle check. So I assume it must have been nothing because Martin would have gone straight for it with that,
for sure.
that scale.
Mhm.
We did see a wallet on Child's shooting gallery.
It's always nice to have. I mean,
Indeed.
OT is still prelude.
it's definitely more useful in random settings league or something like that, where rupees, generally speaking, make more of an impact. But having at least the first wallet is nice, so you can buy tunics. In case you have to go fight them with a low heart count.
Also, shoutouts to we got Fire Temple Way of the Hero. Oh boy.
Oh boy, yeah, definitely going to be one of the last checks. Fairy Temple, pretty slow. SariasObject also missing the jump there over the bridge. Will not be taking that extra hint near Castle. Instead, he decides to go back into Castle Town. Get do Richard. Probably go adult after that is what I imagine he'll do. Hopefully a hint is nothing important. You never know. And just the beauty for saving the dog. Meanwhile, Martin, inside of, the domain, makes sense. You get a scale right outside of it, you're gonna go in there, right? This is the time to do it.
Unfortunately, though, Mr. Martin didn't actually pick up that Ruto's letter in Kokiri Forest, I don't think.
No,
So,
but I imagine he's gonna
that's
go there afterwards. He'll jump out through the front entrance and then just dive down into Lost Woods. So actually, it kind of works out for him in terms of pathing.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, we saw some interesting hints at the Temple of Time. Yeah, Big Oran, Shabu's dead. I thought Big Oran was actually something, but apparently dead. DMT's Volition 40 Skulls is dead.
Yeah, I was about to go
That is
over.
both of our Volitions.
Yeah, so that's nice. Definitely. Death Mountain Trail Foolish can be nice. There's a couple of annoying checks in there that you kind of have to go out of your way to get. So, not having to bother with those, I guess, is pretty nice. You can do Crater a bit faster. It's not, it's not nothing like, for example, getting Forest Temples is dead or Fight Temple is dead. Which is the kind of hints you really hope for, especially Forest Temples of Stone or something like that, which we're about to see actually.
There is a medallion. So that's not bad.
Mm-hmm. Secretary Jabu, and I think, so Baron Jabu is required in this seed. Went a bit too quick for me to really see what was going on there.
Our medallions are Pocket, Fire, DC, Deku, Jabu, and Water. Our trackers are currently updating that, and our stones today are, as we see, 30 Skulls is dead. Our stones are Forest Spirit and Shadow. Lovely.
Oh, great. And that with the hover boots from away of the hero location, that's definitely a bit concerning. Well, Stone Shadow will find a way, as it usually does.
Yeah, my guess it's gonna be like Fire Temple is gonna have the magic, and then we're gonna need to go to Shadow Temple for like our light arrays or something ridiculous like that. Like it's almost always how that happens.
Let's hope not. That sounds awful. But yeah, kind of as predictable. MrMartin heading off to get Saria's song. You know, nothing we've already not seen before. He's gonna get his sun song. Meanwhile, SariasObject entering Kakariko as an adult, so he's gonna pick up all the other checks that they haven't done before.
Yep.
Which is anything nice here. I imagine ZL is gonna be on the windmill song.
Probably. Something that also I missed. I saw it, but I didn't mention it. But our Force Medallion song, the song that we get, is actually "Song of Time."
Yeah. So can be nice. Definitely, if you're considering going into Force, when you find a hook shop, you don't have a bow, you can do a bit more in there by dispelling the Song of Time block. Opens up the courtyard, so that sometimes the bow could very well be there. I've had it happen to me once, and I'm sure everyone can relate to finding something there that you really needed.
Sadly. I think the worst location I've ever found something. Oh, I had silvers on the shield chest.
So yeah, GTG definitely starting to become more and more interesting option, I would say.
Yeah.
That just puts 4 more checks right there into logic. Still needing that hook shot though before it really becomes a tempting, tempting offer, I would say. But it's definitely starting to become more and more interesting. And putting that Sun Song to use for the one check it's useful for.
Yeah, I mean, it might only have 1 check, but it's definitely it's definitely a lot more useful than just 1 check. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Also, I think we also finally confirmed that 30 Skulls is dead.
Yes, we did get 30 Skulls dead. Hint.
Yeah. Also, 40 is also dead, I believe. So 50 still out in the open. This is going to be a thing. I really hope not.
50 is first logical hook shot. Go.
Oh god, no.
I don't think that's actually possible, but it'd be funny.
I wouldn't be surprised with a boomerang. It's quite a lot of skulls, but I'm sure someone in chat will tell us exactly how many skulls are accessible without a hook shot, but with a boomerang. But I'm pretty sure it's in logic.
We're also getting ripped off here by. Not only were we getting ripped off by Talon, but we're also getting ripped off by Scrubs, I guess.
It's even worse when it's a merchant, right? Because it's not just the price for playing a game. Now it's actually just a transaction where you just got ripped out of money.
You quite literally did, yes.
Yeah. Huh. Here we go, MrMartin about to loot his pinata.
Yeah. He's like you say, looting his pinata. The first thing that pops in my head. I don't know why that popped in my head. It was the first thing.
Gonna be interesting to see what happens from here. Soon enough they're gonna be done with all of those standard checks, and since hookshot hasn't been spotted yet, and a lot of other items that you would kind of hope to see by now haven't been found yet. It's kind of going to be interesting to see how these two runners are going to approach it. Is Sarias going to do something risky like he's prone to do, or is he perhaps just going to, for something a lot safer? I imagine he might consider rushing TTG. I bet that's something that's going through his head right now. Whereas, MrMartin, what is he going to do? Like this season so far, with the items we have up to this point, there's not really any super obvious. There's some things you can go like, well, this could be good, but it's still like not really the ideal situations for most chicks. I think DC is probably the safest option our runners have right now.
But Minuet in the windmill, that still could lead to Zelda's Lullaby, which is nice.
True, and obviously also puts Forest Temple into logical access, which is nice. Sarias obviously also getting his Forest Wind now, so they both have it. I thought that was from chickens. My apologies, I was mistaken. I didn't know what the chickens have. I didn't see it. I think it might have been a piece of heart.
I think it was a piece of heart if I remember seeing correctly.
It was a bloopy because I remember marking it off as the bet.
Right. Okay. Thank you. A bloopy. Wow, that's even worse.
Yeah, but I did miss the song. What the song was in the windmill, though.
Minion of Forest.
Yep.
Lovely.
Forest. Also, we're apparently learning a modified version of New Wave Bossa Nova.
Yeah, it's a regional variant.
And yeah, but those are current Way of the Heroes. I've been keeping the commands up to date. We have a very loaded Way of the Hero Kokiri Forest. What's it Way of the Hero 4? Good question.
Probably the letter, I imagine, but it could really be anything. Strength, hover boots, Ludo's letter, pick your poison.
I just picture someone coming in and it's like, hey, what is this Way of the Hero for? Yes. Yes.
Yeah, something like that, I imagine, is probably true. I think SariasObject is about to head into DC. I think that's probably where he's gonna go next. I mean, he doesn't have to choose though, so that's unfortunate for him. No choose, no scale. You didn't do fishing, I believe.
Yeah.
So we'll see how far he can go. Maybe he'll find a bomb back in DC. I mean, that happens so often to me that I'm pretty sure it's coded into the logic to do that for you. I'm just kidding. That's definitely not coded in, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Heaps the
magic.
Yeah, Gurdale Valley waterfall had the choose.
Right. Yes. But magic though from the salesman under the bridge, that is pretty interesting.
Right. Yeah. Now we're just one of two. Oh no, or we're one of one.
We need Deploy and Nocturne.
And we can get that. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, one of two. Yeah. Two. You know what? I can't apparently count. My brain just don't want to work. It's okay.
Also, bad news for SariasObject. He, I think, didn't have enough money or something for that 1500 horseback archery. Instead, Sapona Song is definitely not Way of the Hero for that.
No,
that's not great for SariasObject, who had to leave that stroke behind earlier.
Yeah, I was about to mention that. I think he did check it, but he just didn't have the money to get it, so we have to leave it behind. So hopefully he'll remember to check it out at some point, when he goes child again, quickly runs at it, and then warps back with Sunsong or something.
Right.
But we'll see.
And that magic does make GTG more appealing for MrMartin, who can just set furrows there, having.
Right, yes. Yeah, definitely true. Having furrows win and magic this early, I feel like it's kind of like a unicorn. Like, it never seems to happen. You get one of two really early usually, but never both. But in this seat, we have both pretty early accessible. So definitely going to be seeing some clever use of that, I'm pretty sure, because there's a lot of time to be safe using that item.
Yeah. But someone asked in the chat that they had checked fairy ocarina. Ocarinas are not shuffled.
No.
That was originally in the beginning of this S4 settings, but then it was opted out.
Yeah, probably for the better. I don't think that would have been a very interesting setting to play around with.
Yeah, I also agreed with it being taken out. I think it just adds more to the pile of possible AD.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, it's just annoying. You have to consider it sometimes just from how fun it is to play perspective, and not being able to warp or play songs just doesn't feel great, honestly. Like, it happens in RSL because, it's one of the settings that can be turned on, but in Random Settings League. And the few times I've played it, I just didn't find it was a very interesting experience. And I don't think anyone else really has the same opinion or a different opinion on that. At least from what I've spoken to. And there's Empire. There we go. Off to,
let's go. All right, rush Shadow Temple. Go.
Here's how I see it.
Nocturne from it.
Yeah, no. I was about to say. I think I know where it is. It's an Ice Cavern. That's where we got the letter in the hover boots, so we can go to Ice Cavern.
You're right.
And then get our Nocturne, and then we can rush Stone Shadow. That's the seed.
All right, just remember, rush Ice.
We're Way of the Hero. We're in Way of the Hero location after all. So...
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just like that just reminds me. Go ahead.
Just a reminder, we need a hookshot to finish Stone Shadow, but we can get through about half of it without. That's concerning.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, no chews, no bombs, so SariasObject is out of here. I'll have to come back later. Unfortunately, did not check the waterfall, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. You know, he's quick enough to come back here later, and I believe he did open up the elevator. So no, not particularly anything lost or gained here.
So I got a question for you.
Yes.
Are you? So here, would you rush for the boomerang chest, or would you risk and assume it's
I don't know. It's hard to say. I think I might check it out quickly, but I think it's smart.
So the trick question. Trick question here is that I was gonna say it's a trick question. Drabu's foolish, so you wouldn't even want to check it.
Oh right, yeah, okay. You debated me. Thank you.
No, actually, I debated myself because I actually forgot.
Yeah. Sorry, so putting those strength 2 to good use. You know, throwing around some boulders, getting some exercise same before really gets going with the seed. Obviously makes sense to check this while you're here. 3 checks really close to each other, and you have strength 3. You might as well. I mean, this may very well be the reason why strength was waived the hero. Like, if that was for strength 2, you never know. Ganon's Castle waived the hero.
That's our last way of the hero.
Right, yeah. So Koki, Fire, Lon Long, and Ganon's Castle. Well, those are all pretty, I would say pretty good wave the hero hints. I especially like having Ganon's Castle as a wave the hero hint because you can consider doing it earlier. Really makes me think, though, that it might be on Light Trials. Since we already have 2 strengths and one's in the way of the hero location, I would not be surprised if we find the 3rd strength pretty soon.
Yeah.
And
so the main question comes into what is going to be in the Fire Temple? I mean, we actually have access to it, so it could be the first check.
it could be. I imagine it's probably going to be something like a long shot or something. That's kind of what I'm feeling right now, but we'll see. MrMartin forgot to pick up his fish. I imagine what he wants to do is put Ferora's wind inside of Jabu. He knows it's foolish. I'm pretty sure he saw the hints, unless he forgot. That happens, but I don't think that's something he would forget pretty quickly. He tends to have pretty good, his head in the game about these things. We'll see what he does. Yeah, he's just gonna put Ferora's wind down and get out of here. Makes sense.
Yeah. That definitely makes sense.
Yeah, you don't have to run back here, which is awful.
That is definitely the worst thing.
Yeah, so I'm really curious what he's going to do now. I imagine he's going to play Serenade and go adult.
Yep.
Yeah. And then, is he going to go ice? It's the big question.
I'm not sure, but definitely was struggling a little bit trying to play that song. That was a bit awkward.
Songs are hard, okay? Don't underestimate.
They are.
Really.
Like I'm not at all like, because it's like I have so much trouble with. Wait, okay. Why is Martin playing it twice?
That's a really good question. I think he wants to get skulls, perhaps.
Oh, that makes sense actually. I don't.
No, he's setting daytime and safe warping to do Dampe digging.
Oh, that's actually smarter.
Yeah, it's more clever than what I was thinking, at least.
Yeah, unfortunately, I missed what the song was.
Nocturne.
The Nocturne. Oh,
there we go. Strong Shadow, let's go.
Let's go, Rush Shadow. That's magic up there. That's magic up there, by the way.
All right, so that's another magic. So SariasObject definitely getting bailed out here. Doesn't have to worry about that magic in Lost Woods anymore. Gets the jump. Pretty nice.
That is very convenient.
Yeah, that definitely helps him out a lot, I imagine. Especially with how the seed is looking so far. He just needs to go find a Din's Fire. Then he can also go off to a little trip in Shadow Temple.
So that's a very awkward color for your magic.
Oh yeah, he has this black and white scheme going on, and you cannot see what magic level he's at. It's
I spy bow.
Oh,
very interesting. So just a hook shot away.
Clearable.
Yeah, that's
almost
awesome.
once we have a hook shot.
Logically,
Well, I mean, you don't need a hook shot.
Oh,
but...
yeah, that's right. You don't need a hook shot for GGG.
They have hover boots to skip it.
Yeah, exactly. They can. So there's a little trick you can do in GGG for those who aren't familiar. In the Wolfo's room, a chest spawns, and you can jump onto the chest with a backflip. And then it's a pretty hard thing to time, but you can equip your hover boots really quickly while running towards that invisible wall, and you can jump up on it. So you don't need the hook shot to get across that invisible wall. So that's how you can clear it without hook shot. You also need to use the hands in the room before that to pull you up onto the silver rupee. But that one is a bit more widely known. I imagine now that bow has been found, MrMartin is just really like going like, okay, GTG, probably a good idea at this point. I imagine that's where he's gonna go next, because he doesn't have Nocturne yet, and with DMT,
His object doesn't have Zelda's Lullaby.
no. Oh, he's about to find out. There he goes.
I love
I do
that.
that. I do that every time.
Oh man, I have this really great clip of him doing this once in a race, and he just stands there for 10 seconds wondering why nothing is happening. Like, took him a really long time to figure it out.
Toilets choose, technically.
Yeah, 20 chews on toilet. I mean, if you still don't have bones by then, but you do have irons, maybe you'd consider it. But I don't think so.
I mean, I think I would rather go for a huge rupee that I found somewhere and then go buy some from the carpet salesman. And
What I really like here though is MrMartin putting that bean down in Lake Hylia. I feel like this is such a check that so many people forget. But if you're still not finding a hook shot, you really need to go plant this bean, because everything here is hook shot locked. So, and if there's a hook shot here, and it's your first hook shot, you are screwed.
Yeah, for sure. So I have a fun story about that one. I remember I was doing a seed with a scrub seed with some of the people in the Scrubs Discord, and I couldn't find my hook shot, and I found hook shot in Fire Temple, which ended up being everyone's long shot, and I thought that's where everyone else found it, and I ended up spoiling it where it was, because it was just a casual seed. So I thought that's where everyone else found it, because I didn't even, my brain just did not think about, oh, you can plant a bean and go to adult fishing that way.
So SariasObject found himself a Song of Storms from the Desert Colossus. Still no ZL. That ZL is just hiding away from us. I'm starting to imagine it's gonna be something like Burning Cack or Ice Cap. No, it cannot be Ice Cap, obviously. Sorry, I always forget that check is not like doing it with the hook is not logic, even though it is pretty simple to do. So I
forgot, where was Requiem, by the way?
Requiem of Spirits?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a really good question. That definitely slipped by me. I did not see him pick that up.
Oh,
ever.
SFM. Oh, Adult Save was
Minuet.
Of course,
Yeah, it had to be Minuet.
It had to be, yeah. So Mr. is still not having gone adult yet. He's still child. He's about to go do child shooting gallery, and then I imagine he's going to go off to go adult. But definitely took his time. Definitely going for a very thorough routing. He's not really orphaning any checks. He's making sure he covers all of his bases. Really doesn't want to be caught off. And I think this is definitely the story of season 4, right? Like, I think a lot of people have been mentioning like, the boomerang is in the Goron pods, or they find their bow is in like the Haunted Wasteland or something. Like these awful one-off checks that you're really not often to do. And really good runners like the Salty Sponge or Kola getting just messed up by these items being off in these really remote locations. So I feel like definitely there's a meta developing where people are just checking everything. And
this was one thing. So since we're here in market, I did want to state that like Richard here, I really feel like is so awkward to route in now. For at least for me, it always has been.
I think it's okay. Definitely with Sansong. What I tend to do if I want to do Richard and it's daytime, is that I just head off to Hyrule Castle and check the 2 hints in there. And then by that time, it usually is nighttime. So that's usually how I solve it. But it is a bit awkward. Yeah, you kind of have to plan it in nowadays. Definitely one of those checks that can kind of mess you up unless you have Sansong.
I think SariasObject forgot that they checked that already.
Did he? I think it was Martin that checked it, right?
No,
I don't think SariasObject hasn't been here yet. He's about to go find his bomb fuse.
Oh, Martin.
Martin was here earlier as well. SariasObject has not been in here yet.
Okay, I don't know why I thought it was everyone.
It happens. Alright, also gonna briefly mention it. I put in a prediction here. We've got it open for a few minutes, so if chat wants to, you can bet your channel points on who do you think will win.
Oh, what a question, though. I mean, it's rough, right? I mean, these are two. these are the number 15 and 17 from the top 32, so they're really close in where they qualified, right? Like literally 2 places apart. And on top of that, they are 2 runners that are both, I would say, in terms of like skill, are very close, but their playstyles are rightly different. And we're seeing it right now. MrMartin is really thorough, checking everything, whereas SariasObject is orphaning a lot of checks. He's preferring speed, he's covering a lot of ground, but he's letting things drop here and there. That he's like, whatever. I can come back for those later, or maybe if it's something really good, I guess I'll just lose. He's taking risks, whereas MrMartin's like, I'm not taking. Oh, that fairy is really unfortunate.
That was really unfortunate. Fairy.
that is an awful, awful fairy.
Oops, failed 3 models already, one of which was a fairy.
He even checked if he had another one.
I would too. I mean, you don't want that happening again.
Oh,
it takes forever already.
Especially not a double defense. That just makes it even worse.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but as I was saying, 2 really good players, very close in ranking, but wildly different play styles. So, I mean, who could win this? It's hard to say. I think with how S4 is, like, with it being a bit more, I would say a bit more entropic, as in that there's a lot more checks that can really mess you up. I'm going to give the edge to MrMartin because he's a much more consistent player. But really, like, Sergio has really high highs when he does win. So, if he finds the right items in the right locations, he can just take off like a rocket. So it could be either. I have no idea who I would predict this one to win. If I had to make a guess, I would give a slight edge to MrMartin, but that's about it.
Like you said, I mean, I really feel how Martin might feel here. Probably feeling like just wanting to be safe rather than taking risks. And personally, for me, I take risks, but that's also because I know I'm not like the greatest player. So I know if I'm going to want to win things, I'm gonna have to take risks.
Hold on. There's a hammer there from Epona, which was Way of the Hero. Maybe GTG is not required at all, and if that's the case, SariasObject is just wasting his time right now.
We're just gonna have to see.
We're gonna have to see, yeah.
That does. Yeah. But that does put in some of the bomb checks that we have. So that is very, very good. Fine, not just for Fire Temple.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, you don't have bombs yet, so this might very well lock bombs, which would be really interesting. But otherwise, yeah, Fire Temple is wide open now, obviously. Which, I think MrMartin was considering GTG. That's why he did, to the Epona and check that the bows, because obviously that's first on your path. But now that he has the hammer, we see him moving over towards Kakariko, and then probably up towards Death Mountain.
Yeah,
is what I would imagine.
Yeah, I was definitely thinking that Epona Song might have actually just been Way the Hero for this chest right here. That Saria's about to check.
Yeah, maybe. I'm pretty sure it's the hammer by this point, but we'll see. There might still be something here. It's not mutually exclusive. Well,
that's true. But the fact that we needed the bow too, like, I mean, obviously we need hammer too. It's hard required. It's just kind of weird. I don't know where else there could be a bow.
Right. Well, the bow was on the graveyard on Dempe digging. Sorry, has no bow, so he cannot full clear GTG. Which is a bit unfortunate. But he can get pretty far with the hover boots. I know he knows the setup to skip to get up onto the wall in the Wolfos room. So he'll do most of this, but he's gonna miss some things.
Almost got voided out by the chest there.
Almost, yeah.
Finally,
not really what you're hoping to find in here, but
it's really not. But
we'll keep going.
Always use your safety. Safety? Always use your safety. Yes, that's how you say that word. But
let's not. Are we really skipping over the fact that somebody got a double kill there with the crouch stab? He got 2 Stalfos in one stab.
That is pretty impressive. I won't.
Yeah.
I'm not denying that. I was just like, thinking over my mostly my thoughts of why I said that completely wrong. That's what. Alright. Please, sorry. I'm not able to hear SariasObject's sounds. I'm not sure if they got that. But
I think he did. Yeah, it looked right.
I mean, sometimes it'll look right, but then it won't be. It's so weird.
No, he's got it. There's no repeat.
Yep.
So
Awesome.
he's practiced this a lot. He did a stream once where he was just doing only like GG, all the tricks in it. So he's pretty practiced as far as it comes to displays. So yeah, I can imagine he missed.
Yeah, this part right here is
Worst.
probably that's the most annoying part of it. So.
I would say the trick coming up, the one I mentioned earlier, where you like check the chest by hopping onto the back of it.
Yep.
It's pretty tricky too. I mean, this really does show though, kind of what what we were saying earlier on, like that these two players, they're very different in playstyle. I mean, SariasObject is doing very risky checks right now, right? Like he's going to GG without a bow. He's going to do quite a few, and out of hookshot as well. Like he's going to do a lot of things out of logic. And he's hoping for him to, that this will pay off for him. But it might not. We'll see. Here he goes. He gets up onto the chest. I love this trick. It's so stupid.
Yeah. When you pull it off, it's very satisfying. But trying to do it otherwise is just so frustrating.
It's a really small space to stand on, and you have to do it like you have to start running and then equip it. So you have this really tiny window to get it. It's gonna take him a few tries. It's a bit finicky, but he'll get it, I'm sure.
Yeah, this is another reason why I only come here to do this with hookshot without hookshot when I have a bomb bag, because it's like I just can't do this. I have to do the ground jump.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, in his brain, he's like, if this is something really good, he'll be like, I'm in a really good spot, which is true. There he goes. Took him a while, but he's got the trick off. Great when it works. Oof, and MrMartin missing that green rupee. Unfortunate.
Yes. So I definitely don't think I would have dropped down here afterwards. I think I would have checked the bow one and then came back, but maybe sorry, it's a different idea.
No,
right, I keep forgetting.
Yeah, this is 4 checks. He has to take this first. Very nice and quick, like Rue. That was really clean. Just stab. MrMartin not messing up on the archery game this time, and bomb bag. Okay, there it is. So that's not what the hammer is for. That's at least confirmed.
Yeah, MrMartin is very much showing that playing it safe is very much is paying off here.
It's paying off for him right now, definitely. Yeah. I mean, that's the problem with risky plays, right? Like if it works out spectacularly, but if it doesn't, then very well, he might just be very much behind for a long time. The good news for SariasObject is that most of the things he has missed out on so far are things I would say he's going to pick up pretty quickly once he gets his bow, right? He's bound to get one eventually. He's not going to miss Graveyard for long. But he's just looking for openings, right? Like he's just looking to find that way to get ahead of MrMartin. When he's out of options, he's going to start playing safe, I imagine. But for now, he's looking for the riskier plays.
Sure. All right, we will see if there's a key here.
We hope so, because otherwise, it's going to be a very short GG trip.
Yeah, but if that's the case, of course, means. I mean, 2 keys doesn't really do much, unfortunately. I mean, logically at least.
No, but you get to check at least 3 things, right? And you have Song of Time, so he doesn't even need the key for that. So
So you get to check 4 things.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's not a key.
5.
Yeah. Right, yeah, 3 things on the ledge, right, which he's going to do now, and then 2 things on the other side. Right, yes, you're right. Potentially more if he gets more keys, which I imagine he will, because he's not found.
He has Song of Time, so he doesn't even need a key for that.
And MrMartin using that little that little spot, the hitbox of the stairs that extends over to the other side, to get those stairs to drop just a little faster. These small little time saves, they add up really fast. And
very quickly, yes.
And when you're playing with players of this level, the smallest time difference can actually make the biggest difference in the outcome of the race. So very smart on their end to do this.
And wow, that is a lot of keys on right side maze. That Song of Time was very hard required for
Right.
that maze.
Another thing I wanted to mention, I kind of forgot to because I was kind of caught up in my thoughts, but Bombag was just picked up by MrMartin on archery, right? And the first thing that went through my mind is that, okay, well, with Bombag, DC is now clearable. You can light up the eyes the proper way, no tricks required. So logically, DC is completely doable now. And you have Hammer and Bombag, so Fire Temple is also doable, which puts Burning Cack into logic. I imagine that's where we're going to find CL. That makes too much sense, right?
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Burning Cack has to be ZL at this point. We've seen every other song check that's not Ice Cavern and Composer Grave or got a hint.
Yeah, it's going to be there. Yeah, of course, you're right.
Yeah, we technically don't have a hook shot, but there's a good chance it's in Fire Temple, and Pierre may or may not lock fire anyway.
Yeah, I imagine Fire Temple, hookshot, that seems like a very good guess at this point. I would bet money on that.
Also gives us Ganon's castle access.
Yeah,
I
was about to say was we actually will have access. I think DC is definitely good to go for because it's just very quick, but it's probably also going to go for Fire Temple because it's Weighted Hero right after this. But going DC straight into DC and straight into Fire Temple is a very good play.
Right,
it just routes in very well.
I agree. On the other hand, though, for SariasObject, he has Force Wind, so he can at least come back really quickly here later. So the checks he can do right now, his risk is kind of mitigated by the fact that he does have Force Wind. So coming back here is not going to be an issue. He finds a slingshot, which logically might be required. Well, it is required for Decade 3, but this might be the only one that's available. Is kind of what I mean. Or for the slingshot.
And you already got a hint about the toilet, so the toilet's not needed.
Yeah, he's coming out here. I didn't notice. Did he actually set for his wind, or did he forget?
He can't. Well, he didn't.
He didn't?
Yeah, 1 key and 3 items behind the bow cred, because we got a hint that Trillet's about 20 bomb chews. Right, and we are short 1 key. Slingshot's always been necessary for Deku Tree and Logic. It's never been hard required.
Yeah. Most people will use a trick like to skip the B1 room. So the easiest way is to use a ground jump, which is a glitch that is allowed within standard. Or you can use a series of rolls, which is kind of it's very precise, and then you can do a weird jump and get onto the ledge. Anyway, I'm sure we'll see it because even if they have slingshot, no one is going to do it that way. It's very slow, so people always use B1 skip regardless of whether they need to or not. But since we have bombs available to us pretty easily, I imagine most of the time we're just going to see people do ground jump instead.
Yep.
But in Season 3, B1 skip is pretty much the first thing anyone would learn, really, because you always did Deku. It's like, why wouldn't you? It's right there.
It's definitely one of those tricks that I feel like everyone should learn, for sure.
Sure. After learning how to do lensless wasteland, for sure, because that one is the highest potential in Season 4.
Especially in Season 4, yeah.
Yeah, in Season 3, I would say B1 skip any time of the day, but, that's no longer the case. So, anyway, DC is done. Just a piece of heart. Oh, MrMartin does opt to pick it up, so he wants health. I imagine he wants more hearts for Fire Temple, which I imagine is where he's going next.
Yeah, I assume since MrMartin has not picked up enough, he hasn't only missing about like 99 rupees there.
What's a bit painful here is that SariasObject, I think he did try to set up for time of day to do Denpei, but I think he was just a bit too early because, or he might not have set up. I think he tried right. Either way, he's missing out on Denpei. He's just running right past that bow. He didn't have the right time for it. Instead, he's opting to go for yet another pretty risky check. He's going into the well without ZL.
I think this ZL. Without ZL or bomb bag for that matter.
Yeah, he has bomb chews, so that's fine.
Yeah.
He has plenty of them, in fact. But no ZL. He might have to come back here later again.
Yeah.
We're still missing 50 skull, and that kind of worries me. Why someone in chat mentioned it, but
ZL like logs like was about 4 checks, and if if at least one of those is a key, I'll like logically locks additional 2.
Right. Yeah. If Zell locks the keys to well, logically yes, because the game assumes worst key use is possible, right? Yeah. So it's going to assume you go and get the 2 the golden scutulas in the side rooms first. You only need 1 key though, but yeah, I mean if all the keys are underwater, then you're in real trouble. Because then you're really missing out on a lot. But you know, it fits into how SariasObject plays the game. He's very not risk averse, to say the least. He likes to go for risky plays. But so far, that's not really paid off what I'm sure he was hoping to get out of it.
Yep. 1 key. Okay, that's not too bad.
You can at least check the basement, but. Nothing much else that's underwater. Still, that might not matter. I mean, we don't even know if this is required. You have no way of the hero hint for this. It is pretty high density. We find another key in there, which we're gonna skip. We don't need it, but
2 out of 3 keys though. It's good to at least know.
Well, the problem is that every time you find a key above water is another chance for an item below water. So it makes the prospect of going here worse and worse, really. Yep. And there's a hook shot.
Ooh, okay. That's really good.
Yeah, and at this point, I'm starting to get a bit worried for SariasObject here, because he is missing a lot of items.
Oh, good lord. That's a quadruple wave the hero kept hearing for. Is anyone?
That is strength, Rudo's leather, hover boots, and hookshot. That's 4 items. That's ridiculous.
But there's only 6 checks in there.
Yeah,
that's
and
4
of them.
6.
Yeah, and DD on like the last another one, which is, I mean, it's not required for anything, but it's still nice to have. So that's at least 7 good items in here, which is pretty nuts. Well, did MrMartin actually just hit Link to Goron from below with a bomb shield?
I think so.
If he did, that would be insane. I didn't see it, but I guess we're gonna find out in a moment.
Yeah, so we didn't get the text, so that's what threw me off.
Yeah, true. I didn't see any text either, so I don't think he got it. I think what he hit instead was the bomb flower. But if he hit it, that's nuts.
That's pretty nuts, yeah.
Finds that fairy, that SariasObject, I'm sure, has a very particular hatred for at this point.
For good reasons.
For good reasons, yes. And a lens of truth in the well.
Friends lens.
Definitely not what you want. I mean, it's still, logically it could be, it probably is required, but it's not what you want. It just isn't what you want, unless chess minigame has something, which knowing SariasObject, he's going to check. he's got to salvage this somehow, and he finds another fairy slingshot. These risky plays only yielding slingshots for SariasObject so far.
So since we haven't really seen anything about 50 skulls, right? If it's an item, what would we want it to be?
I imagine what I'd want it to be, or what I don't want it to be, because I feel like that's the better question.
I'm saying, like, if it was an item, right? Like, what would we want it to be? Like,
long shot, I imagine is what it's going to be, if it is something.
Yeah, I mean that would be worst case. I think would be long shot maybe.
I think anything you need to finish the seed being on 50 is a bad case scenario.
Light arrows. Light arrows aren't bad.
Light arrows would be pretty bad too. I mean, anything that they need to finish the seed.
I don't know.
At this point, there isn't really many terrible items that it could be that looks like multi progression, because we found the hook shot, we found the bow, we found strengths, we found hover boots. We have all we found bombs, so we have all the normal items, so to say. A boomerang would be pretty bad. A boomerang would be really bad.
Boomerang would be bad.
Anything it could be right now is just bad, but not disastrous. You have all the items you need to collect most skulls in the game, and you have very importantly Sun Song, which makes it all easier too. So I don't. It's not so nothing too concerning. Both of these runners, they know pretty much every location of every skull in the game. They have bottle to get bucks. They can definitely collect 50 really fast if they have to. But both runners at this point are not, taking any bets on that. They've not been collecting skulls at all. I mean, SariasObject is going for skulls now. But Martin has been pretty much just completely ambivalent about them. He's like, okay, whatever, I have 3, and I'm going to get 4 now, but it's not a priority for him, clearly.
Yeah, I think since I believe Martin has seen 30 and 40,
Yes.
so I would assume Martin is probably just taking the risk, assuming it's not 50. 50 is
Right.
not anything.
Yeah, he's setting up to do 10 and 20 eventually. He has a lot of progression that he can do right now, like a lot, right? He has plenty of items to go places. So he doesn't have to worry too much about skulls right now. He's gonna pick them up along the way, and until then he can just do things he doesn't have to do anyway. So for now he's fine. Once we find 50, and if it's something, he's gonna start prioritizing them a lot more, obviously. But until now, he's just slowly gathering up for 20. He's not looking for anything in particular.
You check with that DMT Baron.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just checking the next Song of Storms, and it's just a blue P.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, SariasObject, I mean, there is one item locked behind that Song of Storms that's really important, and I imagine that is what he's looking for. So I imagine he'll be doing it pretty soon. He's going to head to Cookie Forest and get his hook shots, and maybe that will make him reconsider what he's doing. But until then, he's looking for those items. He's kind of just locked out of most of his progression at the moment.
Yeah. I think the one thing right now is well, one thing I've noticed at least with the S4 is every time Death Mountain Trail is barren, there's always the claim check. That's the one time it's claim check.
Right. Yeah. That's when you find it too. You just find it pretty early on. It's like, well, it's useless. Or they go that also happens a lot.
Yeah.
So MrMartin now heading into Fire Temple. Obviously, he's looking to get his ZL. He knows it's here. He's already done the math in his head. He's like, okay, has to be here. So there's really no other option for him but to go here. He knows that. We know that. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he has no other choice. And why wouldn't he? He has to anyway. It's hard required.
It's true.
And it's Wave the Hero. Like, it's just the most logical play you could ever make. SariasObject here using the chicken to get into domain. Makes sense. I mean, he has no skill, so he's gonna have to glitch his way in instead. But this is in logic, he just doesn't know it.
Yep. And unfortunately, we actually kind of key locked, so we have to go fight Vavaji and then enter. That's a bit unfortunate.
Wait, what did you say? You kind of cut out there for a moment.
I said we are key locked, so we have to fight Vavaji first, and then we have to re-enter.
Yeah, so what happened is that we found boss key, but we're not getting the key we need, and that's completely normal in the logic. That just means there's a small key on Vavaja. I mean, at this point, really, it's not wasting us a lot of our time. We haven't gone deep into fire, so we're not really locked out of anything too far. But it's a bit annoying, yeah, for sure.
That confirms our triple Wave the Hero Kokiri already, by the way. Letter, hookshot, and hovers.
Yep. All of which, I mean, there's also strength in there, which is required for Spirit Temple. So, already there's like a lot of items in here that are pretty important.
Oh, Spirit of Stone. We don't know about that strength yet.
Is Spirit of Stone? Oh, right. Man, I had messed up in my head. I thought water was. I mean,
yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we have a decent lineup, I would say. We have pretty much all of our long, which is kind of interesting. We have all of our long dungeons are actually stones, which is crazy.
Right. Yeah, I kind of wanted to mention, MrMartin was doing Vajra. So for those who don't know, you can use bombs to hit like a specific place in the hole that she comes out of or goes into, and it will do damage to her tail, which is still kind of hidden beneath there. It's kind of weird how it works, but you can hit her with bombs there. But he was doing that. But one thing that can happen when you do that is that Povagia will pop out of the hole where you drop the bombs, and you don't want that to happen. It's really bad, because then the bomb will hit a head and she'll start flying up into the air and waste a load of your time, and he'll die because he has not enough time. And he was really quick about his reaction. He just rolls onto the other side, so Povagia will look away from the bomb and he'll get hit by her. Really well played by him. I mean, that you need to really have quick reactions for that, or it can really mess you up. It's kind of why it's called the troll hole when she comes out of that one.
Yeah. Thankfully, though, Martin didn't actually end up wasting their fairy, unlike someone else we know. No, I'm joking. But so thankfully, Martin actually had a fairy there in case he messed up at all. So that's a good thing. So Mr. Martin, I assume, is going to open this up without Zelda's Lullaby.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. Is he
Martin's gonna pull the same
Martin?
thing? Yep.
Okay, well, they both made this mistake now. Flicks his shield in anger for a moment too. That's how you know. I mean, I think Martin just doesn't want to go back into Fire Temple right now. He's just like, whatever, I'll come back later. I want my CL.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him.
Or he's doing these things, and then what he'll do is he'll jump into the lava and pour it back to the. Oh wait, no, he can't anymore. Now he went into the fairy fountain.
To the fairy fountain.
Yeah. I don't know what he's doing. Getting a Deku shield.
Yeah, see, that was Mr. Martin's plan all along. Just fooled all of you. No, I'm kidding.
What's he going to do now?
Looks like you're going back over. Not going to check the wall?
I think he already checked it from the platform earlier. Like,
okay.
peeked it and then...
I must have missed that. Oh, no!
Uh-oh. That can happen sometimes.
Yeah, Mark's
So-
just like, you saw nothing.
SariasObject did drop the, what's it called? The Forest Wind inside of Jabu. So you can come back here later. Both players have done this now. Sari is going pretty hard on skulls now. So I'm guessing that since his early efforts hasn't really paid off that much, he's now just going hard on skulls.
Yep.
So, I mean, I guess that kind of just explains how he thinks, right? Like, he's looking for advantages, he's doing things he knows his opponent isn't doing. And in a 1v1, this is a legitimate strategy. I mean, like, you know, you either win or lose, right? There's no in-between. You're not going for a good time. It doesn't matter how long it takes to finish or how quick it goes. You just need to be first. That's all that matters. So playing for consistency can be a real risk, because if you're playing risk and you find out what you need, you win, right? So since you only have this one shot, he still has to lose his brackets, but you know, let's assume that, you know, this is the only game he has. He's just going for all or nothing, and that's the only stakes are here anyway, are all or nothing.
Yeah, and I, as someone that also, like I said, I take a lot of risks when I play, when I do things. Mainly because of the fact that I don't feel like I'm the best player. So what I do is when I end up taking risks, I end up I definitely end up worrying when I'm not finding anything or it's not paying off. Like I get worried about those checks I orphaned, and I'm like, what if they were something, right? And then, you know,
yeah.
it's like,
Yeah, and knowing SariasObject, that's definitely what's going through his mind. I guarantee in his mind it's like, crap, I'm not finding anything. This is not like yielding the results I'm hoping for.
yeah, for sure.
And he is the kind of player that does get tilted. That's definitely in his blood. You know, he's definitely the kind of person that, like, you know, worries when it's not going well. Kind of why he tends to. That's why he has such a high forfeit rate. Like when he feels like he's losing, he tends to give up. Obviously, he's not going to be doing that here. But you know, your mental state when you're playing 1v1 in tournaments in general, you know, you really have to keep your head in the game and, like, you know, worry too much about when things are going wrong, because you can start going into the wrong decisions. So hopefully he'll avoid doing that here. He seems to be still very methodical about how he plays, still taking risks, but you know, he's playing solidly, and he's making the kind of risks that I guess in his mind are hopefully going to pay off.
Yep. Also, there's 2 keys, so that pretty much means we have to do Child's side.
Yeah, he's going to continue. Yeah. I mean, I imagine even if we got only 1 key, I think he would still have kept going, because he's kind of banking on Child's Spear, right? Like, it's just another risk he's taking. because he knows MrMartin. They know each other as well. I know these two players are, I wouldn't say perhaps friends, but they definitely watch each other's streams occasionally, and they're aware of each other. They have a lot of respect for both each other. I spoke to both of them before the race, and both players said that they're pretty nervous about this one, and they have a great deal of respect for their opponents. And SariasObject knows how MrMartin plays. He knows MrMartin is very safe, so perhaps that's why SariasObject is banking even harder on riskier players, right? Just hoping to find that advantage. He knows that MrMartin is doing all the reasonable things at this point. So we'll see.
Alright, so far, still not finding too much here.
No, still not paying off. I mean, he might at some point just find that one item, and then what is that item going to be at this point? It's hard to say, because we already know where all the good items are. We know where hammer is, we know where bombs are, we know where hookshot is, the bow. So there isn't really much left that he really needs at this point. So the potential for risky plays at this point is kind of starting to diminish. The only really big one that's kind of left right now is light arrows, but since Ganon will tell you where those are, it's debatable. I would say, yeah, iron boots or Kokiri sword. I think if he finds a Kokiri sword now, that could be huge.
That's huge, yeah, for sure.
That's kind of the big item we're hoping to find. Well, he's hoping to find,
yep.
For sure. Mm-hmm. And if you're rooting for SariasObject, that's the item you're hoping he's going to find as well.
I am rooting for the chat, because in my opinion, the chat's always the winners.
The chat?
Yeah, the chat's always the winner.
Chat. As commentators, we need to be impartial and unbiased. And for me, that's easy. These are both friends, and I both want them to win, and that's impossible. So, sucks for me. I'm going to be both disappointed and glad at the end of this game.
Yeah, and unfortunately, as they say in what was that movie? Highlander. There can only be one.
There can only be one. True. At least in a 1v1.
Indeed.
Of course, neither of these players will be going home between quotation marks after this game, because they're still lower brackets. So double elimination means that losing here does not have to be another world, which is definitely, I imagine, emboldening Saria's playstyle here, right? Like, he knows he still has a second chance. So he probably feels a bit more confident taking all of these risks, knowing that if it does go tits up, so to say, he has an alternative still.
Also, shouts to the synchronized key grab there.
Yep.
Also, I think there's all 5 keys there. I think, right? Yeah. No, one key missing.
Yep. And MrMartin is out of here.
Nope, just warping back up at the top.
Oh, right. Sorry, I missed that. I thought he was setting this thing. Right.
Also, concerning note, we've just gotten keys. Whatever's way of the hero here, it's the fire temple.
Might even be behind Pierre, which I don't think MrMartin has, because he's skipping Pierre right now.
Those have Serenade in Flora's window. Isn't too hard to get back there.
Oh, for sure.
I think this justifies the deep fire meme here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Of course, it's going to be deep fire. I mean, we already said it immediately when we found the way of the hero fire hints. Like, what else? Where else could it
be? Yeah. The thing is, it's not gonna be Megaton Tim chest. It's gonna be highest Goron.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
last spirit keys on locked us on the Slipper Gauntlets chest. That's good.
Yeah. So there's nothing in Child Spirit.
That means I think that's means like long shot locked. Like spirit symbol is.
Yeah, that's good information.
Yes, so that's unfortunate.
Way of the hero chat means that there is an item logically required to complete the game in that area. So something or another in Fire Temple is required. We haven't found it yet.
Yeah, and it does preclude some items. So, for example, to beat Ganondorf, you need light arrows. And light arrows are hinted by Ganon at some point. Like, once you fight him, at the beginning, he'll tell you where the light arrows are and which zone. So, if there's a light arrow in the way of the hero location, that cannot be it. But also, like, for example, if we find bombs on, like, for example, adult shooting, and we find bombs behind a bow lock check, we already know that but it's on the way of the hero location. We already know those bombs cannot be way of the hero, because it will always assume the most early accessible one, as far as I know. At least, if logically something is locked, then it cannot be.
It's only
For
time.
multiple copies like slingshots, bomb bags, and bows, it's only waved hero if it locks all other copies of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, exactly.
Unless
Not necessarily just first accessible, but only accessible.
except
Right.
if you need all 3 strings, or if you need or if you need both hook shots.
Right. Yeah, strength is a bit different than hookshot too, because they perform kind of different, like they lock different things. Like bomb bag, first bomb bag is just as good as the last one, right? It doesn't give you anything extra. A long shot is different from a hook shot, like in what it does. Yeah. So yeah, the strength, for example, like if we look at that wave the hero cookie forest, there's like a letter there, reverse letter, which locks Jabu, which is logically required to beat the seed. But we also found a strength. So if strength 3, for example, is required, then that strength could also be wave the hero. So in that case, we don't know, and that's kind of the problem when like a location like a key force has 3-4 really good items, and is wave the hero. You're gonna ask yourself, okay, so what is it for? What is the seed trying to tell me here? Oh, and there's Cookie Sword, MrMartin. That's our wave hero.
That is definitely wave hero.
It had to be. I mean, there's not much other items it could be at this point. Long shot is one of the items that it could be, but like we're running out of options, right? Like there just isn't many items left to find in the seed.
I thought we had fun about Lucky's.
No, that was our last key. That's an item on Pierre.
Yep. There's an item on Pierre, and he's playing Serenade. He's like, I'm gonna check this. I don't want to get screwed over by Pierre.
Might be. Yeah, this is Pierre. Shoot the sun. Nope, just gonna save it. Never mind.
Never mind.
Has found the way of the hero item and is off to get way of the hero against castles. My guess for the next.
Yeah, I imagine you're right. I mean, he can go back to Fire Temple anytime he wants, right? So he's just not worried about it.
Like it's just more of the fact of like trying to remember about it. Also, I'm surprised Martin isn't actually going for Zio here first. Maybe it's because like I know I would forget about it.
I think
can't use it anyway. No strength.
Yeah, I would say there's nothing he can use Zio for. He doesn't have strength 3, so he cannot use it for the Fairy Fountain behind strength 3, and he cannot use it for Light Trail either. So as far as he's concerned, Zio can wait till later.
Yeah. I don't know, like it's more of just like.
All right, wait, here we go. Chess mini game. Let's see it, chat. Get your predictions in. If Sarias finds something really good here, like strength 3, then that's gonna be really good for him. But he has not much options left, right? So if strength 3 is logically required to beat the seeds for Way of the Hero, Ganon, for example, he's in a good spot, I would say, at this point. But this really needs to pay off. That's basically what it comes down to. This is nothing. He's just lost a lot of time, basically getting nothing, which is unfortunate.
Happens.
Definitely doesn't mean it's impossible though. There's still a couple of items we're looking for, like the boomerang, and SariasObject is a player that can definitely clear things quickly.
Indeed. So yeah, this is definitely not like as a spell set. It definitely doesn't spell doom for Sarias, but like. I won't necessarily say that this is going to be an easy win for Sarias.
No, he's definitely fighting an uphill battle at this point. But I mean, if MrMartin gets stuck on an item, he just has to go and look for it. Then there's plenty of time for him to catch up. We've seen it before. We've seen it during quals on the restream. We've seen it in so many weekly races. There's always a possibility to catch up. It just takes one bottleneck to slow the other player down that you can make up in time again. Of course, if MrMartin is in go mode soon, like for example, he finds both the boomerang and the light arrows, in the iron boots, then it might be over really quickly at that point. Like if he enters go mode pretty soon, then it's gonna be really rough for SariasObject. But until he's in go mode, anything can still happen. That's the beauty of Zuder.
Yep. The one thing right now, we are just 3 items from go mode, but we have no idea what these items could be, except, well, obviously Ganon's castle. But...
Right, one is in Ganon's castle, we know that for sure.
But it could also just be locked behind, it could be locked behind strength 3, it could be locked behind fire arrows, it could be locked behind long shot, it could be locked behind a lot of different things.
Yeah, and the probability that it is behind strength 3 is pretty high, because we already have strength 2 at this point, which is quick. And that's the most checks in Ganon's castle are behind strength 3. So this could also no, I don't think this can be it, right? Because the other slingshot is also accessible.
We have 3. Yeah, we have 3 accessible. All the other 2 are very accessible. They're not locked.
Right. It's kind of what we meant earlier with able to hear locations and items like slingshot. If there's like 2 other ones easily accessible, then this slingshot cannot be required. But MrMartin does not know that. And I was going to mention there is some advantages for SariasObject that he can take advantage of in this seed. It might look like he's wasted a lot of time, but you got to remember he did spend that time doing something. There's a lot of out of the way checks that he's eliminated now, so there's only obvious things left for him to do. So in a kind of in a sense, he doesn't have to worry about a lot of annoying checks at this point. Like Child Spirit, it's out of the question. Well, probably not. With CL he could go back, but there's just a lot of places he's just kind of written off at this point, and he can focus on different places. So let's say there is a bottleneck item later, like for example the boomerang or strength 3 or whatever. He has a lot fewer places that he'll have to look, which MrMartin would have to start looking into. So at that point, the time loss could be made up for again. So that's why you shouldn't count him out definitely at this point. And there's the Iron Boot. So
the noose is slowly tightening here, though. Unfortunately,
it is definitely slowly tightening, especially now that we found Iron Boots in the water trial. That makes the strength 3 requirement a lot less likely.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But it's looking, it's definitely the noose is tightening for sure.
I will say though, I do love to watch an underdog, go from losing to winning. So,
right. Yeah, I agree, and I think that kind of sums up SariasObject, right? Like, I think in many people's eyes before season 4 qualifiers started, I think many people did see him as a bit of an underdog. I don't think there is definitely people that did see him go top 32, but I think there's a lot of people that also were like, I don't see it happening. So in a way, SariasObject is a bit of an underdog, whereas MrMartin, I think everyone expected to make top 32. So in that sense, it kind of fits the story, but we'll see.
And MrMartin also skipped the hints. Interesting. Again, I think MrMartin's thinking that 50 is
dead. Yeah, I imagine that's what he's
dead. So
he is kind of all the important hints, and I imagine what he's thinking at this point is like, if it's 50, I'm just whatever. I'm not gonna get it at this point.
Yeah.
I think he's looking at what he has. And he's like, I'm closing in.
And the thing is like, since Sarias has been really pushing these skulls, that could be the one thing that could close that edge a little bit.
For sure, yeah.
If that is an item.
Yeah, so long as it's not Go mode and we're still missing these items, which could be anywhere. Like Boomerang is honestly one of those super annoying items that could literally be anywhere in the seed at this point. So, that could definitely be the stopgap that slows MrMartin down. What else could there be? Long shot, we still haven't found that one. We do need one. Could be anywhere, really. I mean, it literally could be anywhere. You just need it for Morphan, that's about it. And I think for Spear with the logic we've seen so far, but I don't know. Regardless, it's interesting. With 2 items still left on the table, it could be anywhere. I would not count SariasObject out just yet, but yeah, as you said earlier, news is tightening. Hopefully he'll start finding items he needs pretty soon. He still doesn't have his bow. No hook shots. I imagine he's probably getting a bit worried now. I imagine he's going to pick up the hook shot pretty soon. I think he's pathing towards Kokiri Forest now.
I don't think we've actually seen this open grotto yet.
No, I don't think. I don't think we've seen the Hyrule Grotto, Field Grottos yet. I think MrMartin skipped those.
Yeah. So we're seeing Bomb Shoot Bowling.
I think another concern is that we haven't seen another bow yet. Obviously, we found a bow in Denpei digging, but we haven't seen any other one yet. And at this point, I find the chance of SariasObject still doing Denpei digging is really getting low at this point. So I really need to find a different bow. And I hope this one, because otherwise that is concerning.
Very concerning.
Yeah, I agree, Rock Chalk. If SariasObject is going to do Denpei digging, it's probably going to be his last location. I completely agree with you.
Yeah, but I know with the with Dampe digging, it's like it's so weird to not just go ahead and do it when you have Sun Song. So, and it's not like it's even out the way either. You have Nocturne. You have Nocturne. You have Sun Song.
He just has to go child for it again, which I don't think he's going to be doing in a very long time. It's kind of the problem. Yeah.
Which is why I thought it was kind of weird that Sarias didn't go for it.
Right.
While they were chilled last time.
Yeah, I agree. He perhaps just forgot, and then by the time he was in graveyard, he probably thought of it, but then was like, well, I missed it now. I'm just gonna keep going. And that's kind of what you do in situations like that. Just kind of hoping that, well, I hope it's nothing there. You know, sometimes you just miss a check, and you just hope to yourself that it's nothing important.
So I'm assuming Martin is going for.
I don't know where MrMartin is going, but I imagine he's just.
Oh, he's going to Deku. He's going to Deku.
Yeah, that makes sense. He's putting the bombs there for the ground jump. You know, he's got progression to do, so that's what he's gonna do. The problem is, though, after that, he's out of progression, right? Like, he can't do water. Well, he can, but he can't get very far in it because he has no long shot, so he can't finish it. Jabu, there's nothing there, and he has no boomerang anyway, so that boomerang is starting to become an important item now. There's the hookshot for SariasObject. You know, he was moving that way, so it was predictable he'd find it. It's probably a sigh of relief from his side because that's something he really does need. Still no bow though, and that's probably the worst situation for him right now. But yeah, MrMartin is running out of progression pretty soon, right? So he's gonna have to start doing kind of the same thing Sarias did and start just last locationing that boomerang and that long shot. So unless it's in here, that's definitely, you know, the moment where SariasObject can start gaining speed again. We'll see.
I very much think, yeah, like they're most likely going to be in one of the items in Deku Tree, so I think this is a good play.
Yeah, it's high density, yeah. And there's a reason why in S3 everyone just did this right away.
Yeah. It was also just the fact that it was just right there, it was open, you know. Which is another reason why I like closed Deku, because you don't just get this for free.
Right, yeah, that's kind of what I like as well. Another thing that, you know, chat mentioned it, I kind of wanted to mention it too, honestly, but MrMartin just skipping all the hints. He's not interested in hints anymore. And he doesn't have the 50 hints yet, which is, I think, it's extremely risky.
Yeah, like I noticed that, yeah, that Martin just doesn't care. Just gonna take that risk.
Yeah. We do see SariasObject now also going for DC. You know, he has to bomb you, so he can do the little trick here. He's often do it the safe way. He's going to go up on the elevator and just jump down and then detonate them from, you know, on the top of the head. It's a bit safer than doing the little trick down below. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. Also, he needs to check this, right? I forgot about that. So why wouldn't he?
But
oof! Oh no!
That can happen, but
that can happen. It's not good though.
It's not. You're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong.
Want that to happen.
I know, like when that happens to me, I always want to like curse the storm because I'm like why, like why does this happen?
Skulltulas, they do exist to make your life miserable, just like ice cream.
Really do. Yeah, like so many of these enemies in this game are just like I would say like if Nintendo's like goal was to make the enemies as frustrating as possible in this game, I think they succeeded very well. Because like I can't name one enemy that I don't hate in this game outside of Deku Babas.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you hate Deku Babas, really? Oh, you don't hate them?
Yeah, I don't hate them.
They're a nice source of items.
My favorite. They're pretty neutral. That's what I was gonna say.
Nah, they're your friends. Deku Babas have done no one any wrong. They can't even move. They're not even a danger. You just stand away from them. They
Yeah.
just give you items, and they respawn. You're not even killing them; you're just reducing them. They're like plants; they just grow back.
That's true. Oh, that was clean.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah, nice recoil by Mr. Martin there, getting the gold skull on the way down, and
Oh,
throwing the bomb while he steps on the switch. Really nice timing there. That is, I believe, frame perfect. Unfortunately, didn't throw quite far enough. He got it now. So he's lighting the torch. He's using the flame torch. It's a glitch, but it's allowed. If you put the the deku stick away at the right time, you will save the flame on it, and you can pull it out later, and it'll be on fire immediately, which is an essential part of doing B1 skip because it saves you even more time. So what Mr. Martin is going to do now is he's going to drop the bomb on the ground, and he's going to roll into the bomb while holding his shield out. And this will allow you to do a ground jump. There you see, that's exactly what it is. It is a glitch, it's really weird. I'm a programmer, but I couldn't tell you for the life of me how that would even begin to work. But there it is. And it is allowed, so no problems there. That saves you like easily 2-3 minutes, because doing it the other way is really slow.
Yeah. Especially if you mess it up. So it just makes it super easy.
No, I mean, like if you just do the vanilla way, just like clearing all the side rooms, that's super slow. Yeah, the other B1 skip is a bit more finicky. You can fail it for sure, so that can definitely eat up a lot of your time. With these runners, I wouldn't expect that to be an issue, and a nice one cycle from Goma there from Mr. Martin.
Very solid.
And he's just hitting the ground running. He's just going through these checks really fast. 2 dungeons away from finishing the game, but he's still looking for that long shot and a boomerang, which we have not seen yet. They're hiding.
I'm still waiting. Yeah, I'm still waiting for it. It's gonna be Stone Shadow finds a way, I'm sure.
Stone Shadow has one of them as almost pretty much something I would take a safe bet on. Perhaps it has both of them, and I think that's probably where Martin is heading next.
Yeah, it's gonna have oops all dip.
Yeah. So I think SariasObject no, he has no bow. He couldn't even do it yet. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, he can. There's a way to do it with just the bow now, but he's going to go for Ganon's castle and find iron boots, which is probably the least useful item he can find right now, unfortunately for him.
Yes. Shooting Sun is dead. So that's nice to know.
Yeah. Okay, so Mr. Martin's going to pick up another song. I really thought he would be going into Shadow Temple, but since he's still a child, he's just going to route in some more child checks. He might even go back at the bottom of the well, because it's high density. And at this point, the items he needs could be anywhere. And if you have the choice between Shadow and Well, you're going to pick Well any time of the day. It's high density, it's quicker. You're just going to hope something is in there. You're going to pick up the song on the way there, obviously, but... Shadow Temple, it's just a little slower, so it's probably something you're going to put off for a little bit at least, but it's still high on the list. It's high density at this point in the game. You might even see something like Ice Cavern 2 at this point. It's hard to say. With that Wave the Air Kokiri, it could be pointing at so many different things. It's hard to say. It could just be leather for Jabo Axis. It could be for Ice Cavern. It could be for Shadow Temple. It could be for Strength 2 or 3. It's really hard to say.
Yeah, I think the one thing for me for sure is I would have definitely gone for Ice Cavern Rush, because I like the Rush Ice Cavern. So I definitely would have been like, well, like it probably would end up being useless, and like, well, okay.
Yeah.
All dungeons find a way, maybe. That could be a possibility.
It definitely could be. I mean, none of the stone dungeons are barren, so honestly, it could very well be all dungeons soft. No need for OoT, but maybe there's an item hiding there somewhere. Light arrows in Shadow Temple, your long shot in Forest, and then your boomerang in Spirit. Would be awful. Would be quite awful.
Martin checking off these 10. I assume probably go for 22. Alright, so it's very good play in my opinion.
Right.
But we'll have to see where it goes.
Yeah, he's gonna take 10 tentacles here, right? 11.
It's gonna be 11. Go ahead and check. 10 probably will.
He's gonna head into well after this, I imagine. Or he might skip well. He might think it's not worth his time. There's nothing pushing him towards it, but I think he will do it. It's just high density. It makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, when you can full clear it, there's no reason not to go there.
You're already child, and ideally you're never going to go child again until you go to Jabu. And once you do go to Jabu, you're only going to do for worse wind from the closest dungeon you can get into, and then
especially when it's spared.
Yeah, I think what he's hoping for right now is just that he's going to find a boomerang in the well, so he can just move on to do Jabu and never go child again. That's what he's hoping for. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, songs are hard.
Yeah, very hard.
We got any ZFG subs in the chat? You know, get some ZFC second try in here. There we go.
There you go.
B is already ahead of me.
I love that emote. It's so good. And he's gonna find his iron boots. He's like, damn it, that's really not what I want. That's what he's thinking right now.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Sorry, is probably in the right now.
I mean, if you're in a situation like these two runners are right now, I mean, for Mr. Martin's sake, either he's feeling really confident right now because, you know, it's 130 and he has 4 medallions, which is fast for an S4 seed. But at the same time, he might be thinking, God damn it, SariasObject might already have found the boomerang and I'm just playing catch up. You know, you don't know what the other player is at, but you do know their playstyles, and Mr. Martin knows that SariasObject is a very risky player. So at this point, it's definitely concerning. Well, if the boomerang is somewhere really fucky, SariasObject is gonna have found it by now. That's definitely something he's thinking at this point, which could worry him. At the same time, SariasObject is like, for obvious reasons, thinking, I have nothing.
Is it me? But Spello, you seem to be cutting out considerably.
Am I cutting out, friends? Anyone else noticing this? Sloa, have you noticed it? Oh, damn. Spell's fine for
Mine is just being put in the room.
Oh, what's going on here? Okay, well, I'm on my own now, friends. Sloa is gone. Star is gone. Sloa, you alright there? I think we're having some technical issues, but that's okay. You guys can hear me fine. So while they sort out their issues, I'll continue on my own for a moment. So yeah, definitely. Oh, there you are.
Okay. Discord is being stupid on both of us, it seems.
Yeah, I guess so. I thought it was my internet.
No route error there for a second, and I was like, what? After rebooting Discord, it looks fixed now.
Yeah, it seems to be fixed now, so that's good. Yeah. So,
yeah,
but anyway,
it's like, I can't hear anything. That's a problem.
Right.
Chat seemed to be fine, so they could hear you just fine, Spell, so we're good.
Yeah. So
randomized commentators. Oh no.
Hey, so were you trying to say something slow? I don't know. It feels like you were trying.
Only thing I was about to say was just that I thought it was it was you at first messing up, but then I realized that then I looked at like the ping and I was like, it's like 5,000. Oh great, it's on my side.
All right. Hey, I was saying, like, you know, these two players, even though for us we can see Mr. Martin is pretty far ahead right now, Mr. Martin doesn't know that. So he might be thinking, wow, SariasObject could have already found the boomerang somewhere, because he knows SariasObject is just going to be checking all these weird checks. So he might be a bit concerned. He might be like, oh, well, this is not good, right? Like, I still haven't found my boomerang, and I'm running out of obvious things to do. Whereas, you know, SariasObject already knows he's in trouble, because he's behind, and he knows Mr. Martin is, you know, the kind of player who will do all the obvious checks. And since he hasn't done them, he knows they have to be there. So he's also concerned, right? So for all we know, Mr. Martin might not be feeling good about this at all right now. And he's not finding the boomerang. By the looks of it, there is no boomerang or long shot in well. So SariasObject hasn't really missed anything here. And I think it's unlikely for him to go back here anytime soon as well. So this could work out in his favor again. And that's kind of what I meant with, like, Him having done all these things already, and now that there's a stopgap item in the form of a boomerang and a long shot, now there's time for SariasObject to start catching up again. But that bow is still really concerning. He needs to find a bow really quickly.
So should SariasObject freeing all the Gorons.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, as Kola said, like you start feeling behind the moment you do something which isn't required and it's nothing. Bottom of the well, it's nothing. It is not required, and MrMartin is doing it. Like Kola said, the moment he's going to find out there's nothing here, he's going to start feeling like he's behind, for sure. Yeah, the bow is in Dempe digging, which is an unfortunate location because SariasObject hasn't checked it yet. I'll have to go back to Child for that, which I don't think he's very likely to do anytime soon. He now knows that Fire Temple is, is locked behind Bosky, and so he has no bombs. It's not really a good opportunity for him to go clear it out right now, so he's getting out of here. I think he's going to Shadow Temple next, I would imagine, which you can do pretty much entirely without the bow. For the most part, I think at some point the bow is required. Or can you do it with a hookshot? I'm actually not sure.
There is a strat for that. The only place the bow is usually required, Shadow Temple, is at the end below the statue, but there is a glitchless way to do so by using the long shot, which they don't have, but might be in here, in Scarecrow, or you can use bomb shoes, which requires a setup, though there's a good chance SariasObject knows it. Thanks, Sparks, for the sub.
Yeah, I'm sure he knows it. Also, very good chance there might be a bow in here. Like, I mean, there's still 2 bows out there somewhere. We haven't found them yet, and there's a lot of checks in Shadow Temple. Good chance we're going to find one here. So
the problem, though, is, as chat reminds us, no CL. That's a bit of a problem. Yeah, no hammer, no bombs, no bow.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that, but no ZL is definitely the real issue with this play.
Yeah.
You can get pretty far into this, though, without ZL, but it's definitely an issue. We'll see what he does, though. I mean, in SariasObject's view, this makes a lot of sense. He's just banking on that he's going to find something, because he knows that by now he's going to start playing catch-up, and he's probably not feeling confident that's the path to victory for him. He probably still thinks, like, even more than any time now, I need to start taking risks, because I need something big to get me back into this one, which probably is a fair assessment. I'm not sure if that's what he's thinking, but I imagine that's definitely what's going through his head right now. Because he knows he's behind. And there's the other bow from Slingshot Target. Oh, SariasObject, you could have had this ages ago. You have a slingshot. You have 2.
Yeah.
And that means there's only 1 bow left to find, and he needs to find it. Not good.
Let's hope the bow is not here in Childborn Gwen City.
Sorry, Lostwoods, not Kokiri Forest.
Well, there's, like I said, there's still a lot of locations. So we did find Sarias. I missed where Sarias is.
Don't fit. Well, we found it. Yeah. Opposite grave, right? Yeah, it has to be because we haven't seen Ice Cavern. Yeah,
which does mean Bolero is in Ice Cavern, which does mean that they're less likely to go there. It's just kind of
Yeah, I think by now that's probably a location they're gonna leave till last. I mean, you don't have the letter that kind of points that way, but it's probably just for Jabu. It's kind of the conclusion you're gonna start drawing now, I think. Until you have no other options left, right? Like once you have no more logical options left to check, you might start thinking, well, maybe it is actually for Ice Cavern. So we'll see.
So, like, you have Iron Boots, which also still gives Icy Waters. You also have the Icebird, and no one's checked the Great Fountain, the Great Fairy Fountain that's there. So there's still quite a bit of reasons to go out there, though.
Sure. Yeah, but
Mirror Shield. That's not good. That's not.
Also, just a great setup here by MrMartin. He used the bomb shoot to get this Goron to stop rolling, and at the same time did the pot. So definitely a nice little bit of multitasking there, saving him just a little bit of time. And also, just in general, I think it has to be said, but MrMartin has been playing really well today. Like, I think he's really putting up a strong showing here. Like, lots of little timings he's pulling off. Just a really dominant performance so far.
Well, Mirror Shield is no mode for us, though. We can full clear our stone dungeons. Other than the last couple checks in the spirit logic, that's not a good thing.
That mirror shield is actually not something we want right now for sure. But I mean, we have it now, so it's definitely an option that you can start considering.
Sadly.
I mean, with boomerang still not being found on neither is long shot. I mean, the long shot cannot be in there. I think we concluded earlier, right, that long shot is logically required to beat Spirit Temple.
It is, but it only lacks a couple of checks. That's the top of spirit, the boss key chest, and tournament. That's 3 checks.
Well, yeah, but
it does mostly nerf the mirror shield, but everything else is up for grabs.
Yeah, but
the rest of the spirits.
Long shot cannot be there. Like that's for sure. But MrMartin doesn't know that. He doesn't know what's on Child's side, but he will soon because he's going in. Because he's still Child, and he's just going to route in more Child things for his Child. It makes sense. I mean, you know, as long as you're looking for those items that put you into go mode, and you have no real other clues left to follow, this all makes perfect sense.
Very much so. But I think Sari's definitely going to be checking most, if not all, of the stone dungeons at this point. I don't blame him. Like you said, Sari's has to feel very behind right now.
Yeah. There's no other way. He knows his strategy has not paid off. Like, you know, it doesn't take a very smart person to put that together. And, you know, SariasObject is a pretty smart person, so he's definitely put it together. The problem now is, of course, that, he just needs to find something huge at this point. So, you know, since obviously resigning is not an option in a 1v1 in brackets. I mean, it is, but, you know, you're not going to do that. You're going to fight until the bitter end. But he's definitely not feeling good about the seed anymore now. That no one would in this position.
Indeed, but it's like, I was gonna say it's like they always say, you know, it's not over till the fat lady sings.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I mean, MrMartin is as bottlenecked as SariasObject is right now. So, and he's doing things SariasObject already did. So, in this sense, SariasObject is actually gaining time, if that makes sense, because he's doing things MrMartin hasn't done yet, whereas MrMartin is doing things we know are probably not going to yield anything. I mean, you know, you might have to do this for going deeper into Spear, but Spear might very well just be useless in general. So, if there's a boomerang here, then SariasObject is going to find it first. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely looking a bit hairy for him, but we'll see. It's definitely not over yet. I've seen bigger comebacks, so.
For sure. Sari is definitely one of the two things that Sarias wants to find here is either long shot or boomerang. Like, those are the two biggest things here.
Right. I think MrMartin's about to check the chess minigame.
Again, we figured as much that MrMartin was going to eventually come around to checking things that Sarias already checked.
Yeah, he had to. I mean, unless he found all of his things during progression, in which case it would have been a Jet Sea, which is definitely the worst case scenario for SariasObject. And the longer the sea goes on, the more confidence that is going to give SariasObject, because the longer he sees that MrMartin isn't finished, he's going to realize, okay, there is something blocking MrMartin from finishing the seed fast. A Jet Seed is Sarias' worst nightmare at this point. Like, that's definitely the one thing he doesn't want to happen right now.
But if I remember correctly, Star did roll the seed, so the chances of this being a Jet seems pretty low.
No, they're pretty much done at this point, yeah. This is not a Jet anymore, for sure.
ZSR Grid here. I'm muting because, yes, I did roll lists. I have a reputation. If anyone in chat's not particularly familiar with me, I tend to roll some truly terrible seeds. This started out nice, but as with my seemingly nice seeds, it all went downhill.
That's true. I also think, though, in general, everyone is rolling terrible seeds right now. It just seems to kind of come with Season 4. Like, it just seems to have a propensity towards seeds that just aren't as easy to clear out as Season 3 seeds were. But yeah, you have rolled some pretty big stinkers, for sure. But so far...
Yeah, sorry, Stacko, this is not the place to ask. I'm not sure honestly where you'd find a place for that, actually.
We don't give information on ROMs here. ROM,
I'd rather not get banned. Let's put it that way. Actually, shut up, nothing so far.
Because this is Mac, right? So...
So Martin's definitely gonna be going back to back adult here.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of run out of child things to do, so and that's kind of what he was hoping for. Right? Like, he's just routing all of these things that he needs to get done as a child. So now, hopefully, the only time he's going back child is when he has to go to Jabu. That's what he's hoping for right now.
Unfortunately, he's orphaning that Den's check.
Yeah.
Also, Rip sorry is here. Unfortunately, ran out of bomb shoes trying to.
Oh shit, that's not good.
It happens.
It happens, yeah. But bomb shoes in his situation really important because he doesn't have a bomb bag yet.
Yeah. Hopefully he'll go do the adult adult shooting gallery.
Bow though. That's the issue. He has no bow.
Forgetting he has no bow. Oh my
He has
goodness.
to go back child soon and do denpei digging.
Right.
He's come to the end of how far he can go. He seems to have forgotten he doesn't have CL. No, he realizes it now, I think.
Nope.
Oh no, he didn't. Brain is processing for a moment what just happened, and then he's like, all right, I do not have ZL. MrMartin is going to do what makes sense, right? He has iron boots. This is progression, so this you go with all. This is your first step, right? Like you're gonna do progression first, because Water Temple, you never really waste time in it because there's a lot of backtracking anyway, and the boss is right across the entrance. So doing this makes perfect sense. And if the long shot is here, he's a happy camper. Or boomerang would be nice too. Yeah, you might find the boss key. You never know. Like this is progression, so it just makes sense to go here first. Hopefully you find something along the way, and if you don't, then it's not a big deal. You're gonna have to do this anyway. So. And I think Sarah is now heading into Spirit Temple. No mirror shield. Can't really get one either, I believe. So it doesn't really matter that much. Well, he can use strength to get the bomb into the pot, but that's so finicky. I don't think he's going to bother. So it's just hoping that Spirit Temple will have something good, which it might. We have not seen it yet. Might be another bow in here. That's really what he needs at this point. The bow is locking everything, and we haven't found one yet, which is concerning.
Sorry is definitely pulling the smarter move here, opting for Spirit and Shadow over checking Water Temple. Oh, we obviously can't really do much in Water Temple. But I still think this is more optimal play rather than going for Water Temple.
I don't know. It's Water Temple's progression, so I think it makes sense to go here first.
Yeah, for Martin, yeah. I'm talking about Sarias, since he doesn't have the bow which locks bomb back and so on and so forth.
Yeah, and he has Force Wind, so he can always just drop something here. I don't think he has set a dull Force Wind anywhere yet. He has set Child to Jabu, but aside from that, he hasn't done anything with it yet. So, you can always put it in deep into here later. Hammer with some big bows, correct. That's what the Epona Way of the Hero is for, probably. I mean, honestly, all of Sarias' plays make a lot of sense, but it just feels like he's looking at the hints. He's like, okay, GTG, this and this and that. And, he's just following, what the hints point at in a riskier way than MrMartin is. Unfortunately, this is... Oh, okay. Well, this could be something. Golden Gauntlets could be really good for him. You never know what might be behind that big boulder in Ganon's castle. I mean, it is Wave the Hero, and I imagine it's probably something he's going to consider doing pretty soon. I mean, I think he's leaving, right? Yeah, he's setting for...
Looks like...
Oh, wait. What? Oh, I think he said it in Ganon's castle. Yeah, there we go. Right, so strength free. He's going to check Spirit
On this, the restraint that Martin shit there. I was looking away for like a total second to miss Gold Gauntlet.
Yeah, Gold Gauntlets in Spirit Temple. If this is something right now, then this could be good.
This is huge. If this is
the only problem is, of course, if MrMartin is kind of on the path of doing all of these adult checks now, and I feel like his next stop is probably going to be Shadow Temple and then Spirit Temple. So you know, if something really good is here, this is not going to buy Saria much time, unfortunately.
Not much, but hopefully maybe enough. Like,
It really depends on where this takes us. If it's a boomerang, that's probably better because boomerang will not unlock anything. Like it will unlock Jabu, but it's barren, so it's not interesting.
and we got bottle percent
Bomb
and
bag.
bomb bag. Let's go. That's actually really huge for Sarias.
Very important for him right now. He can finish a Fire Temple, get his ZL. That's big. He still has no bow though, and that's definitely the biggest problem right now. But yeah, definitely good.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, I mean, that is huge in general.
Yeah.
That doesn't buy him any time, but that's huge still, regardless.
Yeah, if he finds a bow now, he can start making up a progression. Unfortunately, that bow, we know where two of them are, and he has found neither. He's going back into Spirit Temple, which makes sense. I think going back to Fire and killing off Volvagia for your ZL makes more sense, but, you know, this is a defensible play for sure.
I haven't seen that setup for doing that skip. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's a bit finicky.
I think Martin now is just showing off.
I mean, it's not too hard to do. It's just a couple of side hops, but yeah. I mean, Martin is mechanically like really good player, right? So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. That's a ball to go through him, you know, waiting for the goal. Most of what it just really shows is that MrMartin is really calm, I think. He's taking it slowly, he's thinking about what he's doing, he's not rushing. Like, no, he's like, okay, I'm just gonna let that text dialogue last a little long so the boulder goes through me. So he's thinking ahead, right? He's not making split-second decisions, like just like going, gotta go. Like he's calm, he's feeling good, he knows he's in a good spot. You know, he's just playing it calmly. No, we haven't found the second Gansky yet. It's probably on Shadow Trial number 2 or on the Light Trial. Light Trial will be best case scenario for SariasObject because then he doesn't have to go back here. Vanilla long shot, that would be something. That would be the worst case scenario for SariasObject, unfortunately, but for MrMartin, that would be really good right now. Yeah, the real downside, of course, is that we have 2 items missing, Boomerang and Longshot, which are really only useful for their respective dungeons, right? So they could literally be anywhere. That's kind of the issue. They could really be anywhere right now, other than Jabu itself, because that's barren.
Yep.
So they could be looking for a long time. That's the unfortunate reality. MrMartin got it pretty much just by following his progression, right? Like, and now he's just like looking for that last item, which is not a good place to be in. It just doesn't feel good. Could be on the Wasteland chest. It's also very possible. You know, it could literally be anywhere. That's the issue. But it's not here in Spirit so far, by the looks of it.
Yeah. It's a very, very good. Like, the only thing that I believe, like we talked about for Spirit Temple would be the only thing Spirit Temple would have would have been Boomerang. So.
And Sarah is doing what I was thinking he would do in Go to Forest. He has the Song of Time block that he can dispel. That's still, I think, 5 checks really quickly that he could check out right now. This makes the most sense from his point of view. So I get why he's going here next. He doesn't need ZL for this either, which is important because he doesn't have it. He knows how to get it though.
Like, all around, I will say, like, despite who wins or loses here, both players have played absolutely phenomenally.
Yes, I don't think that you could argue any different. They're both mechanically really strong, and they're definitely both playing really good. All we're seeing is just the result of decision making, right? One player is going really risky, like hoping to find the big lead over the other player early, while the other player is playing extremely safe. That's the difference we're seeing here. Mechanically, I would say they're so close that it's not even really worth considering the difference. I would say maybe SariasObject is making a bit more mistakes, but I would hazard a guess and say that's probably just because he's getting stressed out. because he's just not finding the items he needs. And when you're stressed out, you start playing less good. That's just the reality. Boomerang on Morpha. Chat really always comes out just the worst case scenarios. It's great.
Alright. But that's why we love chat, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, they always go with worst case scenarios.
Yeah.
Doing this check, we were not able to see any of the yellow checks. There's fire arrows. That does. Shadow Call 2 is an option. I'd laugh if that's a long shot.
Well, yeah, this is out of logic, but who cares? No one, I think, actually cares that this is out of logic. But,
No, this isn't.
Oh, this isn't logic. Never mind. No, I'm thinking of the wrong thing. Anyway, there's the boss key.
What's on Sunday? A lot of things, including another Season 4 brackets match, a random settings league match, the EU weekly for the Ocarina of Time, and several other races besides. We have a lot going on in the weekend. Because discussion in chat is just how many channels do we have?
4.
We have 4 is the answer.
And they're all
Because
going
we need all 4.
Yeah, they are. At some point, we might even run out of channels. We might need a 5th. I mean, Suda is growing popularity, and I think in general, speedrunning as a category of gaming, so to say, I think is growing in popularity too. I think it's kind of breaking a little bit more out of its niche. More people are getting interested in it. Probably large part due to GDQ and stuff, and that's also beneficial to Zuder, because Zuder is kind of like a very approachable way of speedrunning, because it's a bit less monotonous, because every season is going to be a bit different, and it's a bit more goals oriented, whereas speedrunning is more about learning a lot of tricks, and it can feel a bit hard to get into, whereas standard is pretty easy to get into. So for many people, this is kind of their first flirt with speedrunning, that kind of stuff.
Yep. Also going to here plug a bit. Shoutouts to both of our runners, SariasObject and MrMartin. To our 2 commentators today, Spell and Slow the Demon. Thank you for providing us with some excellent commentary. I know you guys are both really looking forward to this match, and it shows.
Yeah. Yeah,
Shoutouts also to our 2 trackers, Rock Talk and Koa. Sorry for interrupting you.
It's all good. And
shoutouts also to the fact that we do have French partners, since we have a very, very large French community. 12 of our top 32 runners and 15 of our 64 Challenge Cup runners are from France. So we do have we have French restreams as well. We partner with Casey, Neko, and Marco for this. In fact, currently we do have a restream over on Marco's channel, actually, so shout out to them as well for providing our French community with restreams.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of French people, the state of English education in France is not always the best, so a lot of French people unfortunately do not speak English. So it's great that this French restream is there for those players who might just prefer French language, or don't speak English, but still get to enjoy the great seats that we're going to be seeing this season. So yeah, it's great. I really love the initiative from them. Yeah, MrMartin is not taking the bait. He already found the iron boots. I think he's just like, if it's in GC, I'll check it eventually. It's gonna come up one moment or another. He thinks he's pretty sure he's already found the way of the hero, and he has other checks he could do. And at this point, MrMartin has to start taking risks as well, because these items could be anywhere, and he doesn't know where SariasObject is. So for him, at this point, he needs to start taking a bit more risks than he has been earlier. The time for playing safe is pretty much over at this point. A lot of people in the top 32 are French. It's a big community. Yeah, Boomerang doesn't open anything, and neither the long shot. Slow, you're alright? You're gone a bit quiet. Are you having issues, or?
Oh my god, I forgot I was muted.
Ah, damn.
Oh my god, I forgot I was muted.
Oh.
That explains why when I was trying to say something, you guys were talking over me. That makes sense. That makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah, we're not that rude, I promise.
It's okay. I didn't think you were. It's just, I figured you guys had some more important things to say. But what? Yeah, I wasn't like what I said before, and just now that I realized I was muted, was that I always make the jokes that the French are the Koreans of OCR.
Yeah, kind of like in like League and StarCraft 2, where like most of the players in the top are Koreans, right?
Yep.
Yeah. No, but it's definitely an apt comparison. I mean, there's just a massive representation of like French players at the top. I think France in general has a big history when it comes to speedrunning games. A lot of famous speedrunners are from France, so I guess it makes sense.
But like someone was trying to say again while I was muted. Was that? So like Randomizer, I definitely pertain that why I think it's so popular is the simple fact that it's kind of that bridge between casual and speedrunning.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so because of that, it's so easy for both sides to easily get into it, whether you want to be competitive or even casual. Like
right.
It's
Yeah, no, I agree.
So.
Now, we're about to find out here what's on this check in Ganon's castle behind ZL. If this is something really good, then it's a key. Okay, so this is the best case scenario for SariasObject for sure. Hopefully that other check is nothing in Shadow Trial. But no, yeah, I agree with you. Like, definitely, OOT kind of just bridges that gap, right, between speedrunning and something more casual. For sure.
I've definitely also heard from people that started with like randomizers and wanted to actually branch into actual speedruns and so on and so forth. So, which I think is really cool.
Right. Yeah. I agree. I mean, that's how it went for me. I've never speedrun a game in my life, but I got into Zuder through a friend of mine, and now I'm pretty interested in speedrunning Minish Cap. That's like something that's built my interest because it looks. I really like that game, and I saw someone doing it. I was like, hey, this looks like fun. So yeah, it's definitely it's kind of the gateway drug into speedrunning for sure. Randomizers in general. And it's a great opportunity to enjoy a game from your childhood or whenever you played it. I mean, obviously, OT is an amazing game, and Randomizer really offers an opportunity to enjoy that game again and again in a fresh way, rather than just replaying the same game that you already have played so many times before.
Yeah, it's like that's definitely the one thing about speedrunning in general is that a lot of people look at it like there's people that have a negative stigma about it, of course, but there's also but all around a lot of people look at it. It's like, oh, I could never do that. But the thing is like the people that you see that do all these big speedruns like CFG or Glitchymon or just to name just a few, like Zelda speedrunners. Of course, I know a lot more than that, but there's just ones pop in my head. Like they've been doing this for years, but they all started somewhere. They didn't just start in the speedrun great. That's I think that's the one thing is a lot of people see it like that, right? That they see all these amazing runners and all the doing this and stuff like that. They don't think about the origins. They just see it here and now.
Right. Yeah, I agree. But I think in that regard, I think what's so great about Zuder is that, especially the standard rule set, I think is really important in this sense. Is that if you look at this as a new player, you're like, this is probably something I could learn, right? There's no super fancy tricks going on. Everything is kind of easy to follow. There's no weird glitches going on. You can look at it and you go like, oh yeah, I can see myself doing this. Not to the same execution, but I could learn this. And that's how I started playing it, right? Like I saw someone play, it's like, oh yeah, I could do this, right? Like it seemed like something I could do, and that makes it more interesting to get into. Whereas if all the glitches were available and we didn't, and the standard setting was glitched logic, then I don't think it would be nearly as popular because I think a lot of people would not even bother trying. But let's get back to the seed. Unfortunately, not that much left to report. We're gonna see some common new checks in Spirit Temple since MrMartin does have the Mirror Shield. Unfortunately, SariasObject is in Water Temple and he will not be finding a bow in here. In fact, he will not be finding anything in here.
I'm trying to think of what there is left at this point.
Forest Temple, Deep Forest Temple still left. There's still Pierre and Fire Temple that it could do. We know there's nothing in Ganon's castle. Perhaps Shadow Trial too, but Longshot couldn't be there. Like that's.
Yeah.
Well, no. It could. We have fire arrows. It could actually be there. This happened
We did
before.
find fire arrows.
This
did
happened to all the fire. I think 8, where you needed fire arrows from chickens to light the torch in Shadow Trial to get your long shot from the second chest.
Yeah, I didn't realize we found fire arrows. Like, they must have been in Forest Temple.
They were in, I think, Spirit Temple.
No, fire arrows were the first stealth was in Forest Temple.
Right,
The fire arrows. And the bows were Dante digging in the target in the woods, both of which SariasObject has fairly brutally orphaned at this point, unfortunately.
That's going to be last location for him. He's just like, he doesn't want to go back child. Like, that makes sense. It sucks to have to switch ages, so I understand why he's still doing this, but he really has to start going back child, and he's going to have to pretty soon. He doesn't have many options left that make sense at this point.
Shadow was not barren so far. Well, Shadow is barren so far. It should nothing much at all that I can remember.
Yeah, we still need the back of the maze in Shadow Temple, and of course Bongo Bongo might have something. As far as other checks, Ice Cavern is obviously still in like an option. There's still quite a few checks in GCG that we haven't done yet. I think 4 of them, if I'm not mistaken.
3, one of which is a key. One is a key.
Right, one is a key. But regardless, there's still items there potentially, but it seems unlikely. I would start looking towards ice at this point. I really would. It makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah, I was just about to say. There's also I meant to mention that there's one check Martin didn't do was the Hyrule Castle Din's Ferry.
Yes, I think he did.
I thought I saw him go for it.
Yeah,
I don't remember. It's nothing.
Did he go? I must have missed it.
You missed it. Yeah, he definitely did it.
He did. Okay, I've never heard everyone saying that he did it. Okay.
Almost last time in Child, I think near the end he checked it quickly along with the hint.
Yeah, he checked the hint. That was an Ocarina of Time hint. We still haven't seen it 50 skulls in, which is the odds of it having something required are going up the more we don't find our items.
It could even be on 20. We haven't checked 20 still either. So
no.
And neither of these runners have really put much effort into getting skulls. They just don't care. They're like, skulls don't know her.
Yeah.
No, if it's an Oops 50 skull scene, we're just gonna spend a good 20 minutes watching them run around the map and get skulls.
Yeah, which is not the worst, I guess. I mean, it does definitely suck. It's not the worst.
It doesn't matter much for either player though, because neither have collected much of them in the first place, so it's not going to be an advantage for either of them at this point.
Strength is not currently waived here in Kokiri, but we also don't know what's on Twin Rova.
Strength
Mirror
is
Shield was in the Goron pot.
Strength could still be with the hero for this, obviously. We're about to find out if strength was actually required or not.
Mask of Truth is turned off. Gilded Link, that is not a thing.
Nope.
Thankfully.
We use the stones for hints instead.
Yep.
But we still do have Skull Mask.
We do, but I think was hinted that? Or no?
No, that was Skull Kid.
Skull Kid. Oh, God. Especially because you can give the Skull Kid a mask as well, right? Or am I? No.
Mask doesn't matter for Skull Kid.
Yeah, whatever. Regardless, it always it trips me up in this game.
It's all good.
River Chest was hinted, yes.
It also doesn't help the fact that it used to be an always hint and now it's not an always hint.
Yeah, that always trips me up too.
2 of our strengths are available just freely. They didn't lock each other. Kokiri Sword Chest and Shield Grave. So unless Twin Rova has something, that strength is not currently waived here in Kokiri, because strength 2 is locked absolutely nothing.
I'm surprised Martin has opted to skip Twin Rova. I guess he's just thinking like,
I think it's Martin has figured out that their long shot could not. Yeah, their long shot locked. I think.
I imagine.
Smart choice to bail.
Yeah, what he's gonna do now is do reverse wasteland, check the chest in the middle of the wasteland, and then go GTG. He hasn't been there yet. It's high density at this point. It just makes too much sense not to go there. So.
And Sari is opting for Ice Cavern here.
Right, makes sense. It's a good play. I mean, looking at his hints, like it kind of points you that way, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna find an item here. That's just my gut feeling at this point. Okay, where else could it be? Like, there's not many places left where we could even find this item, and it's also kind of pointed out by the bow. I mean, by the letter, I mean. Unless the letter is just for Jabu, but that's starting to look less and less likely as time is going on.
Yeah, we also have the blue. We got that blue fire bottle from the light trial.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm Sarias didn't actually use.
You mean from the for the water trial, right?
Oh, was it water?
Yeah,
No, it was light trial.
water trial.
The blue fire bottle was from light trial.
Oh, you mean he grabbed one there? Okay, never mind. Yeah, I thought you meant he grabbed a blue fire.
He got a bottle that would have.
Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah, there's a blue fire in there. You're right. Nothing in the lake by the looks of it.
Light Trail did not have Big Poe. Light Trail had Blue Fire.
I'm still really surprised that Sarias hasn't opted to finish up Fire yet and get his CL. He knows it's there. He must do. Unless he just forgot, that would be really unfortunate.
So yeah, Sarias is gonna actually opt for it to use it here. I don't.
True. Never mind. Anyway, sorry, you were saying?
I was saying, it looks like Sarias is opting to use it here rather than,
on the king.
On the king. Which I
think he forgot, honestly.
might have.
I forgot as well. He forgot as well. I think that's what happened here.
Possibly. It's hard to say.
I think so. Otherwise, I can't see why he wouldn't do it on the way there. I mean, you're still gonna have to go up this way. Like, literally not a time save to use the blue fire here.
Yeah, I mean, you could just like orphan the map chest if you really want to take that big of a risk, but
no, not in his position. That would make no sense.
Yeah,
that would be a really weird idea. That would be a question mark play right there.
Yeah. Also, interesting stun lock there.
Yep. Use the bow nice and fast. For SariasObject's sake, if you're rooting for him, you're really hoping right now that there's nothing in GTG. Because if it's bow locked, long shot or boomerang, yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, I'm pretty sure that his chances are very slim. But yeah, I mean, like I said, MrMartin now has to do all of these things that SariasObject it's already done. So if SariasObject finds his bow soon, and perhaps even the longshot or something, he can start. Yeah, correct. We can start making progress. Whereas Mr. Arthur might very well still be chasing after items that aren't going to be here. A big golden sword. So there is definitely something in Ice Cavern. Not particularly useful items right now, though. Big golden sword is nice to have, but. Yeah, then digging and Target in the woods are where we can find our bow. There's still one out there somewhere. Nice little warp there by Martin. Saving himself just a slight amount of time, I think.
Yeah, let's. The more items that are locked behind bow is just way more awkward.
There's a lot of items. Yeah, pretty much everything is locked behind bow. So if or at this point, then it's I think pretty much a death sentence. So there's that other key there.
Oh, Moraine! Let's go.
And I think this is probably the best location for SariasObject that it could be in, because I think I imagine this is the last place Mr. Martin is going to check. He hates Ice Cavern. I can tell you that much. He is not a fan of this location. So this could be good for SariasObject. If he finds a long shot here as well, I would even say that there might be a chance that he could come back into this. He just needs to find that bow.
The waffle.
Huh?
It's stuck because it sees the firewall.
Yeah.
It's stuck on the firewall.
Yeah. Don't see that happen often, but here you go.
It's funny when it happens.
Alright. Maybe we're going to see some fancy movement from SariasObject here. I think he prefers glitches jumps over the bombs, which is faster, and he's practiced them a lot, so why wouldn't he?
Give me 1 second.
Yeah,
Let's check on the ducks.
Meanwhile, Mr. Martin not finding anything in this GTG, which, I mean, he's not going to be happy about that, because unless that long shot is on the room with the ice you gotta shoot, then there is not going to be anything in here, and this will just be a colossal waste of time. Easily 5 to 7 minutes that he's going to be wasting here, which, you know, is exactly what SariasObject needs right now, to still have a chance going back into this race. And, you know, this is what I mentioned earlier, that SariasObject will, if there's a stopgap item like Boomerang and Longshot are, then all that work he did in trying to look for it is actually now starting to pay off. Because it's all work he has no longer needs to do. If he finds a Longshot and he finds his bow, he can just, you know, progress his way straight into go mode. So, we'll see. 50 is completely possible. Yeah, we haven't seen the hint on either side yet. I imagine it's the same hint behind Decky Tree twice, or maybe it's on Hyrule Castle. That's some place we haven't seen yet. The back of Lake could be the location where we can find this hint. Either way, our runners have opted to choose to not get it.
Yeah, like the biggest thing that Sarias definitely wants here is that long shot is also here, but like, what are the chances this actually is long shot, right?
Even better situation for him would be if it's in Forest Temple. I don't think Mr. Martin is very likely to go there either. There's Bolero. So once he does find a hammer, he can get there quickly, which is going to be nice for him. But he needs to find that bow now. And I imagine that's his next plan. He's going to unfreeze King Zora. For obviously, if this is the long shot, that would be also really good for him. So he has options. He definitely has options. And now that he's found the Boomerang, I would say his situation is starting to look a lot better now. But he's still not out of the woods yet. He's definitely still in the danger zone.
The best thing that Sarias definitely gets out of this is that Sarias is able. What's it called? Sarias is able to rush 50 a lot easier.
Yes.
Because of that. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, if you find a 50 skulls hint now, SariasObject can really start collecting those skulls fast. I mean, Boomerang does, you know, give you a lot of access to a lot of easy ones as a child, especially together with the bug bottle. Oh my god,
easy! Holy crap!
This is huge. This is massive. If he can just find the bow now, he's actually in a really good position. But he needs to start making a lot of effort and he needs to start moving fast. He's moving really fast. The longer it takes for him to not find his bow, the worse it gets. But until then, he has a chance.
The biggest thing here for Sarias is if he happens to find a bow on Morpha.
Right, yeah. Or just anywhere. He just needs to find one. Yeah, there's still one out there somewhere. And unless it's bow locked, he can't find it. The problem is, until he does, it's going to be trouble. He has Boomerang now, and my hope is, now that he has Boomerang, he might consider, okay, I'm going to go to Jabu. And while he goes to Jabu, he'll go into Lost Woods, and he might finally do those checks at the orphan there and find his bow that way. That is my hope for him. If I was rooting for him, which I'm not, I don't care. I love these players, I want to win. But yeah, definitely an interesting situation now. So yeah, Mr. Martin is just going to have to spend all of his time looking for these items now. Whereas if SariasObject find the bow, he can just progress straight to his way to go mode. So this is suddenly starting to look a lot better for him. And I mean, this is classic SariasObject, isn't it? Like, it really is, though.
Yeah, what comes down to this right here is one of two things. It pretty much comes down to how quickly can Sarias find the bow, and how quickly is Martin going to go to Ice Cavern?
Right. And I think it might take a while. I don't think it's a check he really wants to go to. I mean, the hints might push him into that direction, but I know he just does not like Ice Cavern. He's just not a fan.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to interrupt here. So, after we see this final check here in GTG, which happens to not be light arrows, we're going to put up a bet. Where do you think those light arrows wound up?
Yeah, I was imagining you were going to drop this one pretty soon.
Yep. And I'm going to bet for Nerva.
I'll race you with a bongo.
And Rob, it's not Morpho we just saw 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, that's off.
We haven't seen OGC yet, have we?
No, we have not. No, I
many OGC?
Mr. Martin did it. It was
Oh, did he?
nothing much that I can remember.
So we did see that one. Martin
We
checked.
did? Okay, never mind. Okay, well, good thing I didn't bet.
Wasteland has not been seen. We've seen Wasteland.
I don't think we've seen adult fishing either, have we?
We have seen adult fishing. It was a heart piece.
Yes. Right, well,
Hamrocks is possible. So, reminder, we of our current wave of heroes and foolishes. We do have all of our wave of heroes are resolved. I can't type apparently either. Our foolishes are Jabu and Death Mountain Trail, and we do know that we are missing a 50 skeleton, so we could be. They could be there because neither of them are reading hands.
yeah. I like what SariasObject is doing now. He's going to Shadow Trial. He has a long shell. He's like, okay, then I'm gonna have to check it now. If that's light arrows, that could also be pretty good for him because that will save him even more time. I would say there's definitely a ray of hope shining down from a dark sky of uncertainty for SariasObject right now. This could be his stick to victory, but he needs to find out about it. Still, the win condition that he needs. So we'll see if he finds it soon, and we'll see how long it takes for MrMartin to go into Ice Cavern.
Yeah.
Those are what's targeted and dumpy decking. Yeah, the third bow's almost certainly locked at this point. I think we're running out of checks where it could be.
Yeah, we definitely are. It could be here.
For sure. I will say, I don't know how many people here are big anime fans, but you know, like you just need to put on some like you say run here, and this just makes Saria's like climb back just even more epic.
Yeah, true. No, I mean I'm definitely an anime fan. I think that is a well-known fact about me.
Fair enough. Yeah, a lot of people that are friends with me have become like find it very quickly known that I do watch I do watch anime quite a bit. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm a huge anime fan, but I am definitely an anime fan.
Right, yeah. And what Words for Sword said is true. I kind of forgot about that. But Jabu, obviously, it's Baron, right? So I don't think SariasObject is going to be very likely to push himself towards going Child again. Though I think he might actually be going for it now. If he finds his bow, if he finds it quickly, which he very well might, if he's going Child, he very well might find quickly.
Oh no, Martin didn't get. I don't think Martin got the toilet hint.
I don't think he did. No.
Oh no, the toilet.
I mean, this is. I mean, as we were saying earlier, right? Like at this point, you're hunting for that item, and it could be anywhere. So they're gonna check everywhere, and Martin is just losing time. Is literally what he's doing right now. He's just investing time into things that are not worthwhile, and until he goes to ice. That's always time that Saria is going to be using to catch up at this point, because there's really not much else Saria could do at this point. So we'll see what happens next. I'm really intrigued. Denpei digging will be the fastest way to a bow, and if he finds a bow, that will change the game dramatically, I think.
Yeah, the biggest thing that's going to be for Saria's is the fact that for one, the hammer, and two, that the Kokiri sword's all the way on the hammer chest. Like.
Right.
That's the biggest thing, and I think that might what's going to give Martin still the slight edge here, because
I hear what you're saying. There's something I think we need to consider here, though, is that once SariasObject finds his bow and his hammer, he's pretty much just straight into go mode, because his Kokiri sword is hinted in Fire Temple, so he's going to find it regardless. He's going to full clear it, because by the time he'll go into fire, he'll have everything he needs to full clear it. So he'll find his Kokiri sword. He can just skip everything in deck queue. He can just go straight down because he needs nothing else in there. So he's out of there, right? So he can just fast track his way to victory, or at least to go mode once he has all of the once he finds his bow. So his position is starting to look better, I would say, by the minute. Just needs to find out.
And unfortunately, is dodging those bows. Really hard.
Unfortunately, yes. Yeah, he's going to Jabu. I mean, progression. It makes sense, but
yeah,
what's it going to get him? Nothing.
Fortunately, hopefully goes and thinks about Target in the Woods and goes for Target in the Woods.
I hope so. I imagine he will. I mean, he's going to Child now, and he's a good runner, so he's committing himself to a Child phase now. There's not much he can do as an adult. So at this point, going child is just the way to go. And he realized now he has Horace Windset here. Ay, ay, ay. The thing is, though, with the benefit Sarias has from being slower is that he has now the advantage of being to fast track everything. And even though he is behind, we need to remember the things he needs won't be taking long. Fire Temple, he just needs to go to high score on, that's going to be the most time investment. But really, getting Ovajas over really quickly. He's already done some things at Fire Temple, so he's going to be done there really quickly. Jabu's not a long dungeon. Deku is really quick, and then he's done. He's already onto Ganon. So his progression is not something that's going to cost him a lot of time, I think.
Yeah, that's for sure. But I'm just saying, like the fact that he's still got a lot of things he's got to do. He's got to do adult archery. No, he doesn't have to do adult archery.
But he needs to do pose, right? He just needs to do pose.
Big pose. He's got to do. So you gotta do big pose. He's gotta do like I said, the fire chest. I guess yeah. There's still a very big chance that Sarias has got this.
Yeah, I would definitely would not say he's out of this at all. I would actually say that if he finds the bow quickly, and him doing Jabu is not like a time loss, right? Like he needs to do this anyway. So this is completely fine. This is all time he's gaining at the moment. And if Mr. Martin spends his time looking for items, then he is losing time, right? So at the moment, SariasObject is closing the gap, regardless of what he's doing. So I definitely wouldn't count him out at all at this point. I would actually say it's a lot closer than it looks. That bow at this point is pretty much unavoidable for him. There's just not much left he can check for it. The options are really limited.
And as someone pointed out, that's actually true. So the third bow could still actually be here, Jabu, because I believe Jabu was Boomerang. No, it was Boomerang.
Boomerang is an item.
Was that locked behind bow?
I mean,
I don't think it was, right?
No, it isn't.
Okay,
No.
then never mind. It couldn't be here.
I'm not sure what the Fire Temple layout was. The problem is though is that our only bomb bag is the lock. The Light Trial one is out of logic.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, that's a good point.
The thing is, though, that neither of our first two bows are way of the hero, so that third bow cannot be in a barren location.
No, you're right.
Bow, slingshot, bomb bag can only be in a barren location if there is a way of the hero.
Right. So we'll see what happens now, I guess. But I mean, honestly, what places can SariasObject go where he won't find the bow? There's just not much left that he can do. So the bow it's inevitable, I think, at this point for him.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
everything bomb lock is bow locked, but there's two bows available.
Right. Also, yeah, but the thing is, once he finds his bow, I mean, he knows Epona has his way of the hero, right? So there's no way he's going to skip pose unless he's just forgotten. So that hammer he's gonna find really quickly. I don't doubt that much. But then on top of that, he doesn't need the bomb back from archery, and once he has the hammer, it's pretty much like he is just a Kokiusa from Go mode, and he knows where it is. It's in the way of the air location.
Yeah.
So he's actually not that far away from finishing the seed at all. I would actually say Martin is much further away. His item could be anywhere. Whereas SariasObject's items are there's not many places left where he could be looking at this point. And then once he does, all the checks he orphaned and hasn't done are you can just write them off. You can cross them off. It won't be there. So, I don't know. I'd say this is looking actually pretty close at this point.
I'd agree with you there. Yep. Thing is, too, words. We've seen all three slingshots. We have a couple of available slingshots. Besides the GTG one, there's also one in the basement of the well. Well, I guess that one's locked up. I guess, yeah, the GTG one's one available, because, yeah, the two are technically bomb locked and bow locked, but
Right.
Not a bow, I'm pretty sure.
Hammer's
on big pose is the problem.
I guess the Martin is getting Pierre's on, so I think where he's going next is probably Fire Temple.
No, this is GT. Where is he going, actually? Good question.
Well, he hasn't got Bolero. His fastest way would be Minuet, but he's not playing that. I think he's going to do field checks, because he hasn't done those yet. Unfortunately, those are useless.
Well, they could be light arrows there. I don't think I've actually seen field checks, because bombs were a little bit bad.
Could be A to C Grotto or the other Grotto there, the hard drive one. So those are 2 options. Or Bolt of Destiny, I mean.
Also, betting is now closed, so we'll see how those lights are.
Yeah, let's find out. Gonna find
And
them
yeah.
soon.
We already have Veil%, so we know we can confirm that opponent's happy with to hear for Big Post because you couldn't get it in Logic otherwise.
Yep.
Can get Big Post without a Pona song. You can get it without a bow, for that matter. Neither of which are in Logic.
I think it suddenly got really exciting though, because for the most part, the seed has been kind of like, well, you know, it looked like MrMartin was just blazing ahead, but that turnaround in Ice Cavern really has turned this now into a race, I would say. I honestly don't even think these two are that far apart, and the longer this goes on, the further I would say that SariasObject is actually gaining the lead here, because MrMartin is just not going to the right location yet. The moment I see Martin heading towards Ice, I would say he's starting to look very good for winning again, but until then, he's just losing time and just losing the game.
Though I could see very much Martin pathing these checks into Zora River, into Zora's Domain, and so on and so forth. So I could see Martin going that direction here soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can definitely see it too. I mean, there's not much left for him either. He might go Forest, even though that's like, I don't know, like he just doesn't like Ice Cavern that much. So that's the scary part. Knowing MrMartin, Ice Cavern is just not something he likes to do, but he does have hints pointing in there. But yeah, as Star said, it just isn't a great play. You should just go there for the song. It's not super high density. It's very slow. So I can see why he's putting it off, but it's definitely where he should be going. But Ice Cavern might be the one that might cost him this race. It's very much possible.
Yeah, and Sarias is having a bit of trouble with this trick.
No, he's got it. It's a bit finicky. Timing is really precise.
Yeah.
Now, what if light arrows are on 50 skulls? That would be a funny situation.
You never defeat me with the light arrows you so happen to find in Kakariko Village. Yeah, Kokiri Forest, that's totally it.
Oh god,
Yeah.
if it's lights at 50, we're gonna be here for a while unless they just chase skulls down for 10-20 minutes.
That'd be great.
Well, I mean, you know, there's no accounting for personal taste, I suppose.
Where is Martin's Fervor set, actually? I don't remember.
I think Fire Temple. So, I think he's going to check Pierre, which we know is nothing at this point. Well, it might be light arrows, of course, but it's not. It's definitely not the items he's looking for right now.
Using that way of the hero, which makes sense, honestly.
It makes sense, yeah, of course. In his view, this is the most logical play. Could be making it right now, but the thing is, he's looking at Way of the Heroes again, so I think there's actually a pretty good chance he'll be heading towards Ice pretty soon, because he'll start looking at Kokiri Forest Way of the Hero, and he might think, okay, well, maybe Ice Cavern then, and then we'll see him heading that way. But he needs to start. He needs to get going. He really does.
Yeah.
Time is ticking.
I think Sarias was going to find that bow in Target in the Woods. Very good chance.
I think he's probably heading there next. Yeah, I imagine he's going to do the child checks he orphaned now. He has to. He just doesn't have many other options left. That's definitely why he went child in the first place. If he goes adult now, that's a big yikes. But we'll see what he does.
No. Oh no.
Oh, that's not good, SariasObject. That's not the song you should be playing right now.
What? Oh.
Wait, no, he's changing his mind. Oh, he's setting up for Dempe.
That's Dante. That's Dante.
Yeah, oh, God,
Okay,
give me a
that's
heart.
Trying to scare us here.
Yeah, he's on a collision course with a bow right now.
Oh no,
he's gonna be
doing Shadow.
It
I think
makes
Martin's doing
sense.
Shadow.
It has 12 items in it. There is a good chance light arrows are in the back.
Yeah, like I said, Martin hates Ice Cavern, and this is higher density. So I am not surprised he's going here. He did find hover boots in Way of the Hero Kokiri Forest, so it actually does make sense for him to go here. So he's just putting off ice as long as he can. But Shadow Temple might very well be the tomb of his run if he goes here and it's nothing at all. And there's the bow, SariasObject. He paused for a moment there, not probably believing what he just saw, and
Actually, I don't think Sarias saw it at first. Actually, I think that's what happened there.
I think I was just looking like, wait, is that okay? It's a bow.
It's a bow.
What's going now? Big question. Slingshot target. Why? Light arrows. He's just checking things so he doesn't.
Just want to make sure. Yeah, just wants to make sure. I understand.
I kind of disagree with this because you're gonna do this anyway when you're going for Decutry, so you can just do this later. But
that's true.
Now you don't have to go check the target anyway when you go the next time. It's a bit inefficient, but whatever. This is not a huge problem, I would say. He's gonna get the other bow, yeah, and that's gonna piss him off for sure. Oh dear. He's hoping to find a Kokiri sword, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's probably what it actually is, but
yeah, but it's gonna be.
At this point, I think Sarias has gotta understand. Other than I think at this point, Sarias has got to realize that
he's going to find back-to-back items like Daddy Orphan. The good news, though, is when he finds these items, he's going to start thinking it's 2:30. MrMartin is not finished yet, and I'm finding a bow now. He's going to realize MrMartin has not found his long shot or this boomerang yet. He has to. That has to be going through his mind pretty soon.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully, the first thing Sarias does is do that big pose, because if that's the first thing. So salty.
Oh, that's so tilted. Get out of here, SariasObject. You're done. You can leave. You're fine.
They want to be absolutely certain, though.
Yeah, unfortunately. I don't like it, though, because he knows where the Kokiri sword is. If he thinks about it, it has to be in fire, but he hasn't got the hammer yet. Of course, no, this makes perfect sense. Yeah,
I think Sarias might not have. Yeah,
he doesn't know, but he can put it together now. He has Epona's Wave the hero, and he has Fire Temple Wave the hero. He knows where his items are. He just needs to think a bit deeper.
I think Sarias doesn't realize.
I don't think he's realized it yet. No.
Well, not just that, but I think he thinks the hammer's here.
Yeah, but it can be. Like, if he looked at his hints, he knows for a fact that it has to be. It cannot be. It has to be on those two Way of the Heroes that he hasn't checked yet. It has to be on Epona's, because he's got nothing from that's like locked. Yeah. And then on top of that, his Fire Temple has something, which he hasn't found yet either. So we'll see. Hopefully he realizes this sooner rather than later. But once he goes adult, he's going to go do progression for sure. And fortunately for him, MrMartin is in Shadow Temple, wasting his time. So it might be okay for him.
Yeah, Sarias got a little bit of time to waste here, but not very much.
No, definitely.
Wow, this is going to be extremely close.
His movement is so good, though. That song to warp back up, just saving a little bit of time. He realizes now that this bow is like a path to victory for him, or at least his only option at victory, because he knows MrMartin is not finished yet, and so he has to know that MrMartin is looking for an item. So I think he's feeling probably a glimmer of hope now, like he's getting some courage out of this.
Yeah, for sure.
He's kind of refining his stride again. He's finding his focus again. He's playing what's it called, Serenade. He's probably going back adult now.
Yeah, for sure. Like you go adult here for sure.
Yeah, he's checked the Goron stuff. Like, it was on the way. He doesn't have to worry about it anymore now, and now he can just move on.
Yeah. But again, even if light arrows are in past the boat here, I do have to say that that doesn't really matter too much for Sarias, because Sarias has the shortcut. So
yeah. He can finish Shadow Temple real fast if he has to. That's definitely a benefit. So this is just time. MrMartin is just... If light arrows are here, MrMartin is just catching up to SariasObject in Shadow Temple right now.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's a long temple, so this gives SariasObject a lot of time to do doing progression, which is his next step.
Yep.
Hopefully he realizes Epona's and Fire Temple are locking the last two items he needs. I mean, he can logically deduce it at this point, so hopefully he's put one and one together, and he's just going to move on to doing progress.
Yep.
Fortunately for him, foes are right on the way here, so
yep.
doesn't have to go to G first. Hopefully it doesn't go to G first. That would be a mistake.
That would be a huge mistake, but I could see why Sarias would go for it.
I can see it too, but hopefully at this point he realizes the time for risky plays are over. He needs to go do progression, and he needs to catch up to MrMartin.
Yeah. Like, orphaning checks is just the worst thing you can do, especially when you know opponents was your way of the hero.
What's he doing? Uh-oh, he's playing a song?
Oh.
Or is he? He's safe.
Change their mind? Okay.
So
saving,
safe?
quitting. Okay, so they're going for it. They're going for it. They're
Where's
going for
the
big
gold?
points.
Wait, where's
right.
the gold?
Great, guardhouse.
Oh my god, what a oh, but this is perfect. This is exactly where he needs to go. I feel like if there's ever a comeback to end all comebacks, it would have to be this one. Like, he's basically spent a half an hour, 1.5 hours doing nothing, and now finally he's catching up, and how as well.
Yeah, it's like, holy crap! Like, talk about the under. I don't think like there's gonna like I know this is probably too soon to say this, but I really don't think there's gonna be an underdog story that could beat this.
We'll see. We still have a lot of matches left to go, but if there was ever an exciting match to start the bracket of Season 4, ladies and gentlemen, and everything beyond and between, we've got it for you right here. If this is not the kind of hype match you wanted to see Season 4 bracket start with, I don't know what you wanted. I think this is a fantastic race. And I would like to take this moment really quickly, while these two runners are just doing things we've already seen, to thank my co-commentator Sloa Demon for being here with me. I asked him, I'm really happy he's here. Thanks, you're doing a great job. Obviously, else I wouldn't have asked you. Also, thank you to ZSR for hosting this tournament. Thank you to our trackers, Rock, Chalk, Cola, and of course, to our runners, SariasObject and MrMartin. And finally, a thank you to you for watching CSR, because without you, we wouldn't even be doing this at all. And to our French restreamers, of course, Casey, Necro, and Marco. If you're a French-speaking person, by all means, go check out the restream there as well. Yeah, Bolero value. Yeah, he doesn't have to go back up the mountain either. A lot of things for SariasObject, like he can just save like a lot of like a minute here, a minute there. Like you can just kind of rush through the seat at this point.
So Sari has already got the boss key, and I think is hoping that there's another small key down here. Unfortunately, we know there's not. That was a good throw. That was a really good throw.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. This is definitely getting exciting now. We are definitely into a race. We are looking for whoever is going to finish up. What's going to happen? Is MrMartin going to do Ice Cavern and find his long shot in the boomerang and finish the seat up in time, or is SariasObject going to make a amazing comeback here? Honestly, both options are very likely. We're looking at what both runners need to do. For MrMartin, it means going Chow once he finds his boomerang. So he needs to do Ice Cavern, go Jabu, and he can go to Jabu really fast. He has Feroz Wind. Playing Jabu is pretty fast. Then he needs to do Water. He has the boss key, so it's just going in, going across, getting the thing, and then heading straight off to Ganon. For SariasObject, he has to do Deep Fire, which is definitely going to be the slow part, and then he has to do Deku. Deku is super fast, and he can just go right through it. He just puts on his Din's Fire, burns the web, goes down, and he can go to Ganon. So in terms of what these players need to do in terms of actual time investment, I would say MrMartin has a little bit more to do, but it's really close.
Yeah, like you said though, like if there was not, there's no way you could say there's any more of a on the edge of your seat, like match you could ever ask for to start this off.
Absolutely. And between two players that, like, I would say are both easily, people you could see going very far into this tournament. I would say MrMartin, for most people, I would say he's probably one of the favorites to take the tournament, along with other players like, for example, Salty Sponge or Marco. So, those are also really amazing players, and MrMartin, for many people, I think ranks right up there with them. And SariasObject, kind of an up-and-coming runner, has been doing really well in Season 3. Season 4, he started to do even better, and now, he's improved a lot, and now here he is in the top 32. So these are two, both are amazing players that, I think a lot of players see going really far. So to see these two players duke it out in such a close race at the beginning of Season 4 brackets, I think is extremely exciting.
Absolutely.
And we've got plenty more coming. Oh yeah, we have a lot of races left for you. Not only do we have a lot of upper bracket matches, but we also have the lower bracket matches because it's double elimination. So whoever of these players is going out in this race today is not the last we'll be seeing of them. They'll definitely be back again in the lowest bracket. And honestly, I think the lower bracket is going to be very exciting because the top 32 this year is just so stacked. There's just so many good Suitor players now that there just isn't enough room in top 32 to get all of the good ones in. So it's very exciting.
Indeed. Well, this is gonna be close for Sarias on this fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did miss the nice one cycle on Foveja, but he's close. He has big one sword. I think he has done enough now to end this.
Should be enough, yes.
Yes. And there he goes. So that's fire done for him. He still needs to go find that Kokiri sword up there, and then once he has that, he actually is in go mode.
Yeah, and then so yeah, this is super close.
It is super close. Of course, he's missing light arrows, so we're in glow mode, but assuming that it's not like something really rough like 50 skulls, it's pretty much go mode, right? Like,
yeah,
it's not gonna take that long to find.
It's definitely like a minimum. We're definitely in glow mode.
Yes. Best case scenario for MrMartin now is that he finds the light arrows here. That'll be time he gains, but if it's somewhere else, like Deep Forest, then again, SariasObject is actually in the lead, because SariasObject has already done quite a lot of things in Forest Temple, so you can just go straight up ahead to the bowlock checks there. Whereas MrMartin will probably go into the courtyard and find nothing there. So, you know, that's always the thing you gotta remember, that risky plays can sometimes be safe plays, but it really just comes down to, you know, those two stopgap items being somewhere, and that later on all that work you did is actually not time you lost at all. So yeah, I mean, you know, if he had gone to Ice Cavern first things first and then found his bow, obviously SariasObject would have been long done by now probably, but that's not the way it played out. But it just goes to show you that risky and save are two sides of the same coin, and they're both completely viable strategies to playing Zooter, especially in a 1v1.
And oftentimes what takes a lot of skill, and I do mean a lot of skill, is to assess when you need to go safe and when you can take risks.
Right. Yeah. And I think, I mean, you know, when you're going into in the qualifiers, obviously, you can play a lot riskier. I mean, a lot less risky because there's more people playing, and you know, if there's 100 people all playing the same seed, someone is bound to find all the right items in the right order. So you playing risky can actually be detrimental, because if you're just missing the items, you're going to lose a lot of time. But in a 1v1, you just need to beat one person, and if that one person is playing safe, but not god routing it, you're not necessarily losing much time. And that's why 1v1s are so different from playing qualifiers, and why people like SariasObject might actually find way more success playing in 1v1s than they might in the qualifiers. Because when I spoke to MrMartin before this race, I kind of did like a little mini interview, because, you know, we're friends, and I just wanted to like get his, like, what he was thinking about the seed. And he was like, he told me, I'm kind of worried because SariasObject is such a player that has such high peaks. Like his potential for like his upper limit is much higher than mine, he says, because he will do things I'll never consider doing that might pay off way higher. Like he loves these high risk, high reward kinds of plays. And he said, like, and if I get stuck in a situation where I just can't find the item I need, you know, it might not look so good for me. So, you know, MrMartin kind of already predicted a situation like this could happen to him. So, and that's definitely going through his head as well. But at the same time, he's looking at that race time room and he sees SariasObject is not finished yet. So he knows he still has plenty of life left in him. And SariasObject, the longer he doesn't see MrMartin finish, the better he's going to feel, because the more likely it's becoming that he just hasn't checked Ice Cavern. SariasObject has to be thinking that at this point. Yeah. The question is, though, where's MrMartin heading next? Time is ticking, though. I mean, once SariasObject find that Kokiri sword, it's going to be really fast, and doing a Deku is a lot faster than doing Jabu, that's for sure.
Yeah. The thing I have to say right now, there's a 50-50 chance that, like, Martin has a coin flip here. Martin either goes ice and gets their long shot and their boomerang, or they go Forest Temple and they lose this.
Unless Forest Temple has the light arrows.
Even if it has, Yeah, he
Then-
even has light arrows though. Like Sari's already done half of it, so.
Yeah, I agree. If he goes to Ice Cavern, he has a very good chance. If SariasObject, I mean, if MrMartin decides to go into Forest, yeah, I would definitely say Forest Temple would be the death blow to this run for him. I would definitely agree with that. We'll see though. We'll see. We're not done yet, and we are definitely not out of the woods yet either.
Either way, playing Minuet here is the fastest. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Hi, Marie Powers rating of the party of 10. Welcome in to a Ocarina of Time Randomizer Season 4 brackets match between SariasObject and MrMartin. Welcome in. We're near the end. We just don't know where light arrows are.
We are having a
MrMartin
really
needs to go Ice Cavern.
Oh
and she
no.
He's going
No,
into
he's going
Forest.
Forest.
scenario. The items he's looking for aren't here, and this is going to be a lot of time he's going to have to spend potentially finding nothing at all. There might not even be any light arrows in here, in which case it's completely a waste of time. Whereas SariasObject really is just on a collision course with Go mode. There's really nothing stopping him. That Kokiri sword is only a couple checks away at this point. He knows it's in here. He has the Way of the Hero hint. There's no way he's going to miss it.
Yeah. And he's saving every Goron.
Very nice of him, and don't know if this is just him like showing off in like the worst possible moment, or if it's just by mistake. I imagine it's by mistake.
So I think it's maybe just that you know how certain runners just there's certain things they do, right? I think that's probably what just Saria does. Maybe Saria just
That's definitely not part of his personality. I think his personality is more like screw the Gorons, to be honest.
fair enough. Okay, probably just by accident then.
So the items are in different places. How the item randomizer works is it takes all the items, songs, freestanding items, and what have you all over the world and shuffles them around. There is logic built in to make sure the game is still beatable, but it is randomized. So in this case, SariasObject is looking for a hint has seen a hint at Fire Temple's useful, and as it turns out, the Kokiri sword's up at the very top.
Right. But he's setting up for Pierre by the looks of it. Unfortunately, Pierre...
That does not have set, actually.
Yeah.
So
Wait, he doesn't have... Which is actually a good thing for him.
Unfortunately, they're going for Pixel Shot, so
Oh,
it's not.
no.
So it's
Sorry,
actually not.
Give up on this. This is not necessary.
It's Way of the Hero, so it makes sense.
It makes sense, but I would just set your Aurora's Wind and come back here later with Serenade. I feel like that's faster, personally, but... No.
It is.
I mean, I've managed to give it like 1 or 2 tries and give up on it.
Yeah. We'll see.
See.
That looks good.
Look good. Not quite. I mean, this is not wasting. It makes sense to do the. Come on. It's unfortunate that he doesn't. That he knows this trick. It actually would be better if he didn't.
I know I wouldn't get baited by this.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, it makes sense why you would consider doing this, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the newcomers, this is definitely a very exciting race. These two players are close, but SariasObject is definitely rapidly gaining the lead, especially with MrMartin going into a place that has, as far as we know right now, nothing, potentially light arrows. Actually, light arrows are pretty likely to be in here, so we'll see.
Yeah, there's a very good chance that these have
Very
light
good
arrows.
chance. Yeah. Could be inspired on Twin Road. We haven't seen that yet.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, what locations do we have left? We've got Twinrova, we have 50 Skulls, we have Skull Mask, and we have the back end of Forest.
Yeah, that is literally it. You're right.
Best possible location here, I would have to say, is
Forest Temple, right?
I was gonna say Skull Mask actually, because I think Skull Mask is pretty easy.
I think in this case, with the progress both players have made, I think actually Forest Temple will be a bit faster, but we'll see.
Yeah, maybe. That's true.
We
Actually,
have-
I think about it.
The toilet was hinted to be bomb juice.
Yes.
Like, yes, Ganondorf will eventually give us a hint, but we're not seeing that hint for a bit. We haven't seen 50 Skulls hint, actually, is the funniest thing.
At this point, I'm not that worried about it anymore, but if the lighthouse are on 50 skulls, you still could be here a while. It could be on 20, by the way. We haven't seen 20 yet.
No, we saw it. Martin
Oh,
checked
yeah.
it. Blue beat.
Never mind.
It's a blue beat.
Unfortunate.
Right.
So, sorry. So I'm not sure which one Sari's gonna go for. I assume Sari's gonna check the hammer chest first.
Yeah, he's just gonna keep going up the temple at this point. You know, I'll get it pretty soon. He's definitely running out of options, but up first is definitely the most sensible choice. So we'll see.
But
And that seems to be what he's doing. He's not checking high score on. He's going up for the hammer chest.
it makes sense.
A good choice. Yeah, it's faster, so it makes sense. He's not looking for risk anymore. I mean, SariasObject knows when to stop taking risks, and he knows he's one item from go, and he knows where it is. It's right here, so he just has to finish this up as efficiently as possible. That's what he's doing.
Oh no, sorry is doing. Sorry is. I mean, that's fine. That's fine. I'm with Sorry on this one. I hate doing hammer chest, so.
It doesn't take long. It's fine. Yeah, I would definitely say it's not an issue. The background music in OTR can be vanilla, so just the standard music. You can turn the music off completely. You can randomize the music, and you can even add new music to the game. Though you cannot do that through the website. You'll have to download the randomize onto your computer and run it yourself. But you can modify the music in the game and play whatever you want. So you have options there. And I think it's even possible to turn off music specifically for places, right? You can like just specifically set music for locations with the offline randomizer. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I believe it's possible. So you can do whatever way you want.
That is correct. Currently not seeing anything new though. We've seen a decent chunk of forest from SariasObject and each fighter.
Well, we're about to see new stuff because he didn't have a bow when he came here. He went up to the 2 Stalfos, or the 3 Stalfos actually. So pretty much everything we're going to see now is new. If there's light arrows here, that's good for SariasObject, I would say.
That's hard to say. Also, we do have actually Majora's. So OTR has, you can add music from other games too. There is limited information freely available. You can find a bit more information in the Discord, as that includes how to find an offline build of Randomizer. Although we do not just freely share MIDI packs due to the mentioned copyright issues.
Right, yeah, you're going to have to figure that one out for yourself. We can't help you there.
Yes, if you do want to learn more about OTR, have joined our Discord.
Definitely. And if you're interested in playing OTR, you can find great resources there on how to get started and how to learn how to do this efficiently as well, so you don't just feel completely lost doing it. So definitely go check that out. I can highly encourage everyone to try this out. OTR is a lot of fun. These players are really good. So if you think this looks intimidating, don't be intimidated. It's actually really easy to learn OTR. It's probably one of the most accessible forms of speedrunning you can get into.
This is a Kokiri Sword Glow mode here for SariasObject in about 30 seconds. MrMartin needs to go Ice Cavern.
He really does, yeah. But the sooner if light arrows are enforced, let's say they are right here, that is bad for MrMartin and good for SariasObject, because MrMartin will keep going, hoping to find that boomerang or long shot. SariasObject will just have to go in here, get his light arrows, and get out again. So that would just be worse for MrMartin. If the light arrows are on Phantom Ganon, that's the best case scenario. Then he loses the least amount of time. So a lot of ifs, but it's starting to look, I would say, pretty spooky right now. Because SariasObject has his Kokiri sword. He can just go right off to Deku 3, which will take, I mean, it will not take long. It's a very quick check.
Indeed. So the one thing someone said, Rob said in the chat that Sarias might actually go and fully check Deku Tree for those light arrows, which of course we know aren't in there. But I think if Sarias feels super behind here, it might take that big risk and just not check Deku Tree and just go straight for the hint.
I don't think he will. I think he'll set for his in there. I think it's just gonna go straight down to the bottom and get the hint from Ganon instead. That's how
Why can't you just do it in one trip?
It might, but I wouldn't be surprised if he skipped it.
I wouldn't skip it, honestly. It's so quick, and there's a good chance it's there.
I agree with you, but you gotta see it from his perspective right now. For as far as SariasObject is concerned, he might just be like a minute behind on MrMartin, because he spent a lot of time basically looking for nothing, and he has no idea how far ahead MrMartin might be or might not be.
I don't think it's worth skipping, to be honest. But it'll be
Like, and it does fit the kind of playstyle SariasObject likes to go for, which is kind of risky. So he might skip it. I don't know. I really don't know.
I do want to point out one that there was one time where I was in a race and we were neck and neck. I didn't, of course, know this, but like my opponent went into full clear Jabu and I skipped Jabu, and that's the only reason I won. So
literally, if it's going to be a difference of 10 seconds, skipping the checks in Deku is worthwhile.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He might consider it because of how far behind he is already, in his head at least. He knows he's catching up. So there's a golden skill. That's not light arrows, unfortunately.
That is not light arrows.
It does have a nice triangular tip. You could maybe put it on an arrow. I mean, golden skill is close enough to like the golden glow of a light arrow, so maybe it'll work. But if I don't think it's gonna have much success, unfortunately, for MrMartin.
Fortunately, I don't think so. No.
Can't use it as a hookshot either. It's really unfortunate. We'll see what ZeldaSpeedRuns is going to do here. My guess is that he's going to skip, but we'll see. No, it looks like he's skipping.
He's definitely.
I know this player so well. It's like I can read his mind. The same for MrMartin. Like it seems so obvious.
This is very much a play you want to go for, though. I definitely agree with it.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. Yeah, okay, light arrows might be. If they're here, it's a time loss, but if they're not here, it's 1 or 2 minutes time save even. So that's at this point that could be really big. He doesn't know. Why don't you just he realizes.
I think he was trying to say like he was gonna go for like one time, because if he got it one time, then awesome. If he didn't, it's not the end of the world. It saved in the equipped if he got it correct. If he got it.
Mm-hmm. There you go. He gets a nice backflip. He's looking really good now, I would say.
Very good. Yes.
He doesn't know it, but this is the correct play. Obviously, there are no light arrows in here, so.
Yeah, for sure.
And MrMartin still, I mean, he has to do ice. That will take, 7 minutes to get there and, clear it out. Then he still has to do Jabu. I really don't think his chances are looking really strong right now. This seed is rapidly slipping away from him. Lost in time, just as time seems to slip by inside a forest temple. So does time seem to slip by in this seed. And unfortunately, time slipping by from MrMartin right now is just not what he needs.
Martin tried so hard and got so far.
Yeah, he was looking so strong early on, but
in the end, it doesn't even matter.
Come on now. I sang that song in karaoke once. It's always fun. Everyone knows it, so everyone just shouts along. It's the best.
Yeah.
Alright, so SariasObject now has all the medallions. He will be heading to Ganon, and we will finally get an answer to where these light arrows have still been eluding us all this time. Where could they be? I think everyone wants to know. Everyone placed their bets. A lot of bets already have been invalidated by now, but I mean, it could still be.
I said Forest Temple basement chest, so mine's still valid.
Still valid, yeah. They didn't check that.
They have not checked it yet.
Happy 3 hours. This seat sucks. I don't agree. I think the seat is actually pretty good. I think it's actually a pretty
so exciting.
Well, it started out good, but at this point, those light arrows might be a bit finesse.
If it was any better than this, it would have been a jet, which would have made it a bad seed. I think this is actually a good seed because all the items you can actually logically deduce. Ice Cavern, it's kind of semi-hinted if you think about it, so.
Not really, no. I mean, Riddle's Letter is wicked here, but it's for Jabu and Hover Boots and Hookshot are confirmed there too. I don't think that points towards Jug.
No, I don't think it points directly.
The slightest.
You kind of okay, well maybe
it points at all, to be honest with you, but yeah.
No, it's not a direct hint, but if you're just looking at if you just follow your hints, you will pretty much just figure this seed out. Like, even if you know, if you just okay, well, maybe it's for this then. You'll figure it out eventually.
No, I still don't think it's even an indirect hint. It's just something you do.
I don't think it's a direct hint for sure. That's, I agree with that.
It's even indirect, but yeah.
No, not indirect, but you can still follow the hint and get to the items. That's more what I mean.
I guess. Still not really sure, but yeah. Yeah, we still haven't seen the 50 skull centimeters, and it's looking for other places for those lights to be.
Glow mode now, as it's called, but it's, I reject glow mode superiority. I disagree with it. It's go mode as far as I'm concerned. Cannons will tell us the way.
Seals on burning keg. SariasObject doesn't need it at this point. We don't
he
know
still
where
doesn't-
rockets are.
Oh, wait, he does have it, right?
I mean, as
Well,
far
we
as we
don't
know,
need it,
we don't. As far as we know, we don't need it. We could still need it.
Still need it for light arrows,
Death
of course.
Mountain, Death Mountain Crater. Yeah, Death Mountain Crater's still a thing.
Yeah, true. That's also a location. It could be fairy fountain there. We haven't checked that yet.
Oh,
there
they are. There they are.
Hold that.
SariasObject, though, it's right there at the end. That's the best location you could hope for.
Good for MrMartin because SariasObject doesn't have to go all the way through, but that's
Well,
not
no,
going to be.
it's good. It's good for MrMartin, but it's better for SariasObject because he's already done most of this. So it's gonna, it's less time for him.
Yes, all right. Let's see who wins the bet. Let's see.
I think there's
Doc
two.
Sheeps with back half forest wins the premium bets.
What?
Because
There's two of
premium
us that.
bets.
Oh.
Yeah, premium
Oh.
bets is back half forest. I'm currently reading through the other side, the regular bets. There we go. Slow wins.
And someone else said that someone else voted for it too.
It's the first person who bets it who wins, so you two both bet it, so you two both get it. This is
Nice.
you who get it, Slow, because you bet first. Also congrats.
So
And congrats to Doc Keeps, who having picked back half forest is the first because EXR and Phantom Cannon is a little too precise, and Blue Pope Forest is a bit too far off.
also, MrMartin doing this, it really makes sense. He's still looking for long shot and boomerang. It might be here. Like skipping Phantom Cannon would be a mistake, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, like I'm surprised Sari is not equipping the big Goron sword back on.
I think it just doesn't think it's worth the time to menu switch around for it.
I mean, you want it for this, and you want it for Ganondorf, so I
Yeah.
definitely think it is.
I think I agree with you, but he may just have forgotten. He might just be excited. He knows he's very close to finishing. He doesn't know how far away or how close MrMartin is to him. So at this point, he's just thinking, I just got to finish this up really fast. And he might just make small mistakes like that. It happens.
Yeah.
Puts in a forward win, really good.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's one thing about SariasObject. SariasObject's going to see it's in Forest Temple. Sari's already done half of Forest Temple, so the other half is not going to be hard.
He's going to be able to get there pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Still, the slower checks, though, you have to do like the archery stuff. So and he's definitely got to do the slower half of Forest. But the unfortunate reality is it doesn't make a difference. MrMartin still has to do Ice Cavern. He still has to do Jabu. That's going to be at least 10 minutes. And by then, SariasObject is going to be long done with this seed.
Yep.
Yeah, there he goes. He sees the hint. He's out of here.
Yeah, I mean the thing is like Sarias is going to like full clear out Forest outside of Phantom Ganon, but that's to be expected.
At this point, MrMartin knows it has to be Ice Cavern. There's not much left he could check. So, like I said, it's his last location. He hates Ice Cavern. It's just not a place he likes to go. No, unfortunately, that has cost him the seed.
Indeed, it happens. You just I hate doing 1500, and I know that has nipped me before, or horseback and archer in general. I just hate doing that. That's nipped me before, but. But I've learned very quickly, like, just because you hate a check doesn't mean you should orphan it. Like, because it really does nip you in the butt.
Yeah. And at this point, I'm pretty sure, going through MrMartin's head, I think he kind of knows that at this point, he's lost. Because he can figure out in his head by this point, like, it's 3 hours in. He knows SariasObject is a really good player who's also mechanically very solid. He knows that SariasObject will have pretty much full cleared the game as well as he has. So he knows that he's definitely not. If he's in the lead, it's very close. So he's definitely starting to sweat now. He must do. There's a long shot. He doesn't like that. He's gonna keep going. He has to. He cannot stop now. That would be a mistake.
JonTron, there's no way.
No, there's no way.
There's no way he doesn't do Ice Cavern. Like, there's no way you take the risk of not doing Ice Cavern.
Because if he has to come back here, that takes forever. I could see him maybe putting forward Wind down, but that's just not the style of game that MrMartin plays. He likes consistency. He likes to full clear when he goes for something, and he's still missing Boomerang, and he doesn't. I assume it's in his mind it's not like that it's going to be in Water Temple, so he's going to full clear, which is good. He has to.
Yeah, but that's definitely that's right here. Unfortunately, Martin is going to be checking this, so and Sarias doesn't get baited into it because not having not getting Zelda's Lullaby ended up working out for SariasObject.
It is.
There's
Yeah.
the last ball.
Oh, he couldn't have gotten that. He didn't have ZLs.
He didn't. Like you needed Zia for that.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, in the end, it doesn't matter.
It does not matter.
It's kind of I mean, for SariasObject, it's kind of a relief that that bow really wasn't. You know, it locked a lot of things, but in the end, it didn't lock the really important items that you had to last location, which were Boomerang and the long shots, which were just, you know, pretty much accessible pretty early on if you're willing to ignore ZL logic, right? So that kind of saved him. If those were locked behind bow, there's no chance in hell that he would have won this seed. And I'm sorry that is maybe a bit presumptuous to say at this point, but the chances of MrMartin still catching up here now are getting very slim. And it's going to take a bit of a miracle, because SariasObject knows where the light arrows are. He just has to go find them, and it's not going to take much longer. MrMartin still has quite a lot of progression left to do. Like, I would say SariasObject is probably finished in the next 5 minutes, whereas MrMartin is probably still going to need, I would say, roughly 10. Maybe a bit less at this point, but yeah, it's not. There's definitely not much time left for SariasObject to finish this.
Yeah, I mean, it also comes down to like, what is Saria's check here? Do they skip anything? I don't think they do, but they do. What could they skip? I don't think there's anything.
Yeah, true. I think what was the Boomerang was in the other cavern, right? The one up ahead.
Yeah, it's not in this one. It's the other one. Yeah.
Yes. So
the one that you unlock with the with the silver rupees.
Yes. Okay, cool. I thought so.
Okay, great.
Second time.
Yeah. Like I cannot imagine just the emotions that are going through.
Yeah.
These runners right now.
Hands are definitely sweaty right now.
These roots aren't heavy.
Yeah, more spaghetti, sure. I hope they both had a nice plate of more spaghetti, you know, to give them the confidence and the emotional support they need to get through this grueling seed, I would say. I mean, for S4 standards, I mean, this is not a horrible seed, but it's definitely not an easy seed either, you know? Gotta really put all the right things together, I think, to get through this one quickly. Yeah. No, MrMartin isn't going to be happy about this.
Well, not at all.
So now he has to go to water, and then he has to go to Jabu. That involves like switching ages twice, and he has to get to Jabu, which doesn't take long because you have Sora's Wind set there. But yeah, that's definitely quite a lot of time left. And he's out of here. He's got what he needs.
That would be probably not happy about it. Good.
Yeah. Okay, so step away for a second. I'm back. Chat. SariasObject does actually have clean audio, so we will be switching over.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Also, I will say shoutouts again. We do have a bit of a slightly changed layout, so we have our pronouns visible on our Restream, and they're now going to be kind of a cute little yellow factor for our audio, which is also visible on our comms Restream.
I missed the old icon. I thought it was nicer, but it will do. It'll do.
It's nice to be a little more visible, and I do like its Triforce yellow.
I do like the color. Yeah, I agree. Color is great.
I also like how the pronouns are now visible, so you don't have to do that.
So yeah, so if you could turn on Sarias,
turning it down should hopefully be better. Their audio are vastly different. They have vastly different audio levels.
Yeah, it was quite loud. Well, not quite loud, but it was a bit loud. Yes.
Yeah.
Turn it considerably down should hopefully be better. Yep. Yes. Just the audio levels, but this is what happens when two runners have completely different audio levels.
All right. SariasObject is, I would say, 2 minutes away from getting a slide arrows at this point, maybe 3 minutes.
For sure. Maybe even less.
And then he can literally just forward spin right over to Ganon's. He doesn't even need to like get to a temple. He's already in one.
Yep. That's the best part. Like I was thinking, like if light arrows are in Forest Temple, that's probably the best. That is actually probably the best place.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
so here we go.
wow.
What a race it has been.
What a
Only an
comeback.
hour ago, I would not have predicted this. That's for sure.
Yeah, like unfortunately, Sarias doesn't have any nuts, so I had to do a little bit slower of a fight there, but that's okay. At this point, it doesn't really matter too much.
Big Goron Sword kind of saves some time at the same time, but yeah, some nuts would have been nice there for sure. But how is he gonna beat Ganon without nuts though?
Who knows?
So, what do you say at this point? I mean, there's not much left to say. We've seen the seed. We just need to see how it ends now. And we know how it's going to end, just not the specifics.
I mean, the thing is like, I don't think well, Sarias definitely has a firm lead here. I don't think I can say that Sarias is 100% out of the woods yet. Like, not until he finally hits that final hit, and we all can put GGs in the chat. Sarias is still could very easily lose this.
You're expecting him to like fail on Ganon for like 5 minutes? I don't see that
There's a chance. There's a chance.
That would be very exciting.
Yeah, there's a chance.
Yeah, this is double eliminations though, so regardless, not a loss we'll be seeing of either of these runners. One will be going on to the next round of the winners bracket, and one will be going on to the losers bracket, but neither will be removed from the tournament. So if you're a big fan of either of these players, don't worry, they're not going away anytime soon, hopefully.
I will definitely say after this, I've become a big fan of SariasObject. Like that this has just been an amazing showcase.
I'm a big fan of both these runners. I can definitely recommend checking out MrMartin's stream sometime. I mean, we always shout out the runners, but MrMartin is a very nice guy, very nice to chat with on the stream, and is really good at explaining his thinking. It's a great player to learn from. SariasObject does not talk ever, but he speaks through his shield. Like, he flicks it around when he's angry. He speaks without language. It's really interesting. So definitely something to watch for sometimes, but unfortunately no mic. But he should change that. I've been arguing with him to do it, but he gets his light arrows, and he's out of here.
Well, all right. Let's from here. I think Sarias has pretty much got this, but there's again still small chance, but there's still a chance.
I love your optimism. I like it too. We'll see. I would love to see like a split-second finish where like it's literally a snipe from one or the other player, but wow, it's gonna be rough, man. Especially since both these players have killed Ganon so many times, they could probably do this blindfolded. So
Yeah, I don't know if I can do that quite yet, but I definitely know I'm one of those people that argue this is definitely one of the easiest. Oh, like not Ganondorf, but Ganon is definitely one of the easiest, if not the easiest possible.
I think that's such a funny view people have, but it's only because people have done Ganon so many times that they kind of figure out the trick to it. It's definitely not the easiest boss in the game. That's King of Dongo, without a doubt. But and I probably more find second place after that. I would say like those are just two really easy bosses, but it's definitely for as far as speedrunning goes, this is not a hard boss yet. It's pretty logical. SariasObject is opting to take a bit of a safer strat, doesn't hang around the platform. He just wants this over with. He's playing consistently now. Almost missed the one cycle. He misses it anyway.
Yeah, just playing super safe.
A little bit of nervosity also showing through there, I think. He's just a little bit like, uh-oh, gotta not mess this up now.
Yeah. I'm wondering if Sari is. I'm not sure if Sari is feeling behind or ahead here. I have to think that he thinks he might have this.
I think he's well. He knows Mr. Martin hasn't finished yet because if Mr. Martin is finished, do we let him know? I think we let him know right when the opponent wins, or maybe we don't. In that case, I imagine now, and he doesn't want to see it.
It is. We never notify races. It is entirely up to them to read race time.
Okay, fair enough. Well, in that case, I imagine he's probably closed it because it's just distracting. You don't want to know. But yeah, in his head, like he probably imagines Mr. Martin is doing this already. If not, has probably already done it.
Yeah,
but it's
sure.
not something he wants to think about right now, for sure.
Yeah.
And same for
Also,
Mr. Martin.
Also going to note that we are on a 15-minute delay for brackets matches, so this SariasObject has been done for close to 15 minutes. So we will see about an interview as soon as this wraps up. We've had a bit of a chance to give the runners a break.
That'd be interesting. I've never heard him speak, so.
Seeds.
Yes,
new seeds are rolled for each match. It wouldn't make much sense to not roll a new seed for each match.
But Star, you kind of spoiled the ending of the seed now, didn't you?
I said close to 15 minutes. I didn't say how close.
Okay.
A, can't be bothered to do math at midnight, and B, I'm not spoiling the exact finish times.
That's 3.
Yeah, it's pretty clean as far as gunning goes. That's 4. I think he needs one more hit now.
5. All right, get your GGs in the chat. What an insane match. Holy crap.
Yeah, Ganon's down on his knees. SariasObject has tamed this seed like he has Ganon's object here. I mean, Ganon's object. What am I saying? He has tamed Ganon like he tamed this seed. He's down on his knees. He just needs to get that sword in there, and then it will be GG, and we can call this race for SariasObject with a time of 3 hours and 20 minutes. Well, 90 minutes and 30 seconds to be precise.
Holy,
what a comeback!
What
GGs.
the heck, dude?
Alright, so we're going to switch on over to our interview scene. I did speak to the runners in race time room. While we waited for each team to catch up, SariasObject will not be joining us for an interview, but Mr. Martin has been waiting in the Bongo BC for a little while, so I'll go tow him in.
Alright.
Hey, Mr. Martin.
Oh, hey.
Hey.
GG.
Yeah, GG.
So, yeah, like this was insane. Like both you and Sarias both played absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, I like when it came down after you finished that Shadow Temple, it was a coin flip of whether you go Forest Temple or you went to Ice Cavern, and unfortunately you lost the coin flip.
Yeah, I mean it's a typical season 4 seed. Like have everything open and just choose correctly.
I think that going to Forest Temple wasn't a mistake at all, because he would have to have done all of that progression for light arrows anyway. So in reality, I just think with light arrows being where they were, I think it already was just kind of impossible at that point. We just didn't know it yet.
I was pretty sure I was behind when I did GTG. Like after GTG, that was too much already.
Yeah.
And then I even did Shadow, so...
I mean, I imagine you probably don't know that much about the seed. I don't know if you've been watching the restream since, the race is over, because of course you were on a delay.
Yeah, I watched the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, you and SariasObject completely played different games. SariasObject was very risky at the beginning, which I'm sure won't surprise you at all. He was doing all these weird one-off games, but never found his bow or anything. But then he went Ice Cavern, found his long shot and boomerang, and from there it went really fast.
Yeah.
I was pretty sure I was ahead at the beginning with that bow and everything I found.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Ice Cavern biting you in the butt, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was the worst option. Like Shadow, Spirit, GTG, all are better options.
Yeah, and I kind of mentioned in the stream as well, like, you're not a huge fan of Ice Cavern as far as I know, especially like if you don't need a song from it, so I kind of was worried you might like leave it till much later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just go Ice Cavern if it is a good play, or if it feels like a good play. Yeah, it didn't feel like it. I mean, I still think it wasn't a good play, it was just the right play, like...
Yeah.
I needed to do it, but it wasn't like the best option.
To be fair, I mean, SariasObject kind of left it for last as well. Like, the thing is just he went Spirits, Shadow, and all those places first, and then went Ice when, you were doing progression. But then, all those things that he did, you have to do anyway. So in the end, it didn't actually cost him that much time when you look at it. I'm kind of curious, though, Mr. Martin. At the beginning of the seed, you did chickens first, and I was kind of wondering if you had someone else play for you, to be honest, because that's not Mr. Martin I know.
I mean, I don't want to lose to chickens, and then I'm right there.
Why don't you put your emote in the ZSR chat, by the way? And people know why I'm saying this. Mr. Martin,
that's right.
That one.
Yeah, I almost never do chickens, but then at that point was like, do I lose to chickens here? It's not worth it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Like, usually I will skip it if I have things to do, but I mean, at that point I'm already there, nothing else to do.
But I mean, outside of going ice cavern and all that earlier, what do you think you feel like you might have been able to do better this season in general?
I think it was pretty good for me. I played pretty well and I routed it pretty well, I think.
Yeah, I would say
it was just unlucky.
Yeah. How did you feel going into this match? Like what was going through your head? Were you kind of expecting something like this might happen? I know you know how SariasObject plays, and I know SariasObject knows how you play. Like, you guys are, I wouldn't say friends, but probably like at least familiar with each other, right?
Yeah.
So how did you go? Like, was this something you were concerned might happen, considering season 4 items might be so far off, and SariasObject likes to go for risky plays? Like, was this something that you thought could happen?
Yeah, it could always happen. I don't know. It's how the randomizer goes. Like, not even because it is SariasObject. It's just against anyone. If you don't do the right check, it can bite you. But especially against Sarias, he's gonna play good, and if you get one item behind, he's gonna get ahead.
Yeah, and that's kind of what happened exactly in this seed, I guess. Like, you could kind of predict how this one would go, honestly. Well, you're going into losers bracket now, which I'm sure is not really what you were hoping for, obviously. I don't know who you might be playing. I think it's too early to tell.
We do not know yet.
No, we don't know yet. Do we also not know, like, who of two people it might be? Like, depending
We
on...
do.
So who could you play?
So the winner, I am going to also post it actually in the chat. The winner, SariasObject being winner of this match will go on to face the winner of the match between Pink Kitty Rose and Godzilla, whilst the loser of that match will be facing off against MrMartin in losers bracket round 1. So that'll be some good matches. I believe that PKR and Godzilla have scheduled their match just yet, but keep an eye out on the schedule. It should be added soon. I believe they were in the works of discussing time zones the last I heard. Always fun.
Two really good players. I mean, Godzilla and Pink Kitty Rose. Well, I mean, PKR especially, I think, is one of the favorites coming into this tournament. The big question is, who of those two would you rather play? I'm curious.
I've seen more Felix than PKR, honestly. So maybe Felix, so I know what he's gonna do.
Oh, it's Godzilla.
At least I know a little bit more.
Yeah, Godzilla, not Felix.
Oh, I play Godzilla more than Felix. It's the one I know more because we play sometimes in like late night races.
Yeah.
So it could be fun, but then again, I would like Godzilla to go on to win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But all around, like you both played absolutely phenomenal. I know you like both like SariasObject really had to climb on this one, and like I said, you got a little bit unfortunate with unlucky, and a lot of the plays you made sense. It just unfortunately ended up being that because Sarias ended up getting that long shot and the boomerang for you, just kind of ended up what ended up
I guess I just needed one item in a difficult place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the story of
But
season
just give
4
me,
in general.
give me one more
Yeah.
item in spirit or shadow, and I have a shot.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's definitely true.
But it's okay. I think a lot of people still have faith in you. Still think you're gonna win season 4 here. So
I mean, I'll do the best I can, but I don't think I'll win.
Nah,
I
well,
think-
I'll do my
I
best
believe-
for sure.
I think a lot of people didn't expect SariasObject to beat you either. So honestly, in season 4, anything can happen. I think, to be honest. Regardless, I mean, I have no further questions, and if Slow and Star doesn't, I think this will be a good point to wrap it up.
Any final questions?
No, I personally don't. I mean, my questions are always typically just. Most of my questions were to Sarias, but unfortunately he is not here. But as Star is
He is
putting
in chat.
into the commands, oh, he's in chat. I did see him. I did ask him one of the big questions that I really wanted to know. But if you guys haven't already, make sure to give our runners, SariasObject and MrMartin a follow. Shout out to my co-commentator here, Spell, for helping. Thank you so much for even considering me to help co-commentate with this, and also shouts to our trackers, Rock Chalk and Cola, and also shoutouts to Marco and Casey Negro for having a French restream for us.
Right. And I think that now we can probably get Tress in here to give us the closing words, as he is prone to do. I think he wants to.
Looks like Chris is probably ill. He's showing his idol on Discord. He's likely snoozing or something
Oh,
at this point.
It's like 7 or 6 a.m. where he is. Never mind. It's 6 a.m. where
It's
I'm.
6 in the morning. Shout out to our
Something like
French
that.
restream, team for starting this restream at 2 and 2:30 in the morning. It's 6 a.m. for them too.
Well, why don't you close us off then, Star?
Alright, yeah, I will do exactly that. So thank you to all of our volunteers, thank you to the restream team, and thank you to our, my fellow restreamers as well, and thank you to chat for watching. This is going to be some fun times. So, looking ahead at the Zelda speedrun schedule, we have, as per the usual, a jam-packed weekend. We have tomorrow, well, technically today at this point, for the Eastern time and further east. So, at any rate, Saturday at noon Eastern, we have the Majora's Mask Randomizer Standard Weekly Race on ZSR 3. We have another we have our second brackets match, the Ocarina of Time Standard, which round 1 also between Dylan Evil and Daredevil X. That will be on ZSR May. We have that'll be at 1 p.m. Eastern. At 2 p.m. Eastern, we have the Skyward Sword Talk to Yerbal Tournament 2021 between that'll be actually a double header there. Double feature of 2 separate races. Jesnick's 08 versus Exto and Taito ASR versus 64-bit Link should be some good. That'll be fun. That'll be on CSR 2. And then at 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, we have the Ocarina of Time Randomizer Standard NA Weekly on CSR. And at 10 p.m. Eastern and Saturday, we have the Zelda 2 Randomizer Weekly Race, also on ZSR. On Sunday, we have a lot. We have the EU Weekly 9 a.m. Eastern. We have the Ocarina of Time Randomizer Random Settings League Season 2 Losers Bracket Round 6 between Emo Soda and Kirux at 10 a.m. Eastern on Sunday. And then at noon Sunday, we have yet another Ocarina of Time Randomizer race. We have some more S4 brackets. Namha versus Seize that'll be coming up at noon on Sunday. And then, just to add to the OoT fun, at 1 p.m. Eastern Sunday, we have the OoT Championship Series Season 3 Challenge 8. And then we've got also a couple of Wind Waker Randomizer races besides that coming up later that day as well. I've got plenty more we have plenty more Season 4 brackets matches coming up throughout the week. We've got some scheduled on Monday, a couple scheduled on Tuesday, Wednesday, pretty much every day of the week currently. We have a lot of matches coming up. So you can, you can check out the schedule for more information. I read off the weekend matches. I'm not reading off the week's matches. If you want to watch more S4, we've got plenty of it coming.
Sleep, watch Zelda, repeat. That's your life from now on.
Pretty much. Also, don't forget to check out twitch.tv/the Silver Gauntlets, which is where the Challenge Cup will be hosted, because that will be starting up soon as well. We've gotten our runners confirmed. And we will be starting our own groups matches too if people want even more OTR action.
It's just too much to watch.
Yep. If you want OT, there's plenty of it to be found. You may check out the bracket. Yeah, brackets reveal is Sunday, actually. It's 2 p.m. Eastern on the channel I just linked. You can check out the Season 4 brackets there on that command. And you can also follow all of our Zelda Speedruns channels. We are here on Zelda Speedruns main today. We also have Zelda Speedruns 2, Zelda Speedruns _3, and Zelda Speedruns _4. We will in fact be using all 4 Zelda Speedruns channels Sunday because we have just that much stuff going on.
Nice.
Don't we also have the beta quest, right?
That is correct. We also have yet another OoT tournament. We have the Beta Quest tournament, which just started up recently as well, and we may be restreaming some matches of that as the ZSR schedule allows.
At this point, we're gonna need like an end screen with like all of the upcoming things. Just listed because it's impossible to remember all of this.
I'm reading off a list.
Yeah, but I mean, like, for other people like listening, it's impossible to remember all of this.
I feel like it's like Star's List is clearly like one of those, like, you ever seen those cartoons where they have the scroll and it just like keeps going?
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty much how I feel like right now.
All right, but I really get it.
Yeah, no problem. It is getting late. Thank you for watching, everyone. This was an excellent first brackets match to start off Season 4. GG's to both of our runners. It was really well played and really close. Looking forward to 4 matches coming up this week. So, we are currently going to go over and say hello to our friend Zopar. He is currently doing a Monka S4 settings, which is a bit of BB settings read from a while back. Got some fun shenanigans. I believe there's some Master Quest dungeons. There's definitely some entrance rando. It is also run on the dungeon door requirement rule set, so that'll make it be even more fun. So, we're going to say hi to Zopar. Zopar is a Silver Gauntlets organizer and a Challenge Cup participant, so we're going to see how Zopar is doing and call it in quits for the night. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Bye.
See you later, everybody.
Bye bye.